You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.
What's up? What's up? Let me mute this out. Can you hear me? Yo, yo, yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I had to unmute.
I can't hear you at all.
Yeah. Can you hear?
Hello, hello. I can't hear y'all.
You can't hear us?
What's up? What's up? What's good?
You can't hear us? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear everybody. Hold on.
You can hear me?
Gage, check your speakers, bro.
So you can hear me though, Bobby, right?
Yeah, I hear everybody.
Oh, okay. Major, you can hear us?
Hello, hello.
Yo, we can hear you. You might have to click off. You might have to click off and come back on. We can. We can hear you. Yeah. See, this is why sound check is important.
True.
So yeah, so we just wait for Major to come back on, check his things going on. But in the meantime, we just got on late today. Sorry for all the delays, but the Super Bowl. We know everybody's out here watching the Super Bowl, so we had to, project our time back because of the Super Bowl. Um, and now that the Super Bowl's over, now we're here, basically trying to get you guys this great information. I have a great show for you guys tonight. We definitely have a great show for y'all. It's going to be super dope, super impactful. A lot of the stuff that you are going to hear tonight, you're going to want to sit down and basically write down a lot of this stuff. Take notes, because a lot of the stuff that we are going to tell you about, you can go and research yourself, especially our queen of the night, who is definitely is a super dope queen we're acknowledging tonight. I think you guys have a definite impactful treat tonight with that. You guys are going to be super excited who we have for a queen check. So yeah, so let me know how you guys, your weekend, everything was going good for you fellas. What's new? What's hot?
What up? What up, man? Hey, I'm sorry I had some audio trouble to begin the show, but I'm here, man. Look,
That's
man,
right,
Kansas City just
David.
tapped that ass in spite of the refs trying to throw the goddamn game for the Eagles. You dig? KC, KC's my number 3 team. I got 3 teams. San Francisco's my team. Then I got my backup teams, Tampa Bay and KC. Them boys brought it home. I'm so damn happy I could shit. Yeah, everything is good, bro. You dig? Listen, I love to see a cheetah get smacked in the mouth, because they sure as hell tried to throw the refs did that to San Francisco. Bruh, I'm like, who paid the refs in the San Francisco game? And I'm looking at the same thing today at Kansas City. They were just so good, they still got it. So shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? Riri brought it in the halftime show. A lot of people wasn't feeling that, but I feel like Riri brought it in the halftime show. You dig? So I'm
I
bouncing
only
off.
cared about Riri. That's what I showed up for.
What's up?
I only cared about Riri. That's what I showed up for.
That's what it is, man. I rocks with Riri heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like she's my favorite pop star, if you will. Like I don't even like R&B like that. But if I'm rocking with R&B, you ask me who the best is in the game right now, to me it's Rihanna. That's how I feel. So
She's doing it. She don't get enough credit either. I mean, she's got a lot of records.
she make bangers,
Not just hits,
man.
but she's got a lot of accolades to her name that she doesn't get a lot of respect for. Globally, she's she's that chick. She's really huge in the international
Rihanna's
markets as
popping.
well. She doesn't get a lot of
Rihanna
respect for that though.
I think a lot
is
of times
popping,
that she don't get a
real
lot.
talk. So
I think the reason why she doesn't get a lot of respect is the fact that her music is more versatile than anybody else's. So it hits a
mhm.
lot of genres that a lot of other people, especially people in our race, don't really rock with or even listen to or get exposed to.
And
So
that's why I like that.
yeah, so she's a very versatile artist. Me, I didn't really like the performance too much.
Mm.
She was pregnant, so she get a little slack for that.
Yeah.
Um, but I think
Shout out, shout out Rocky.
if you're pregnant, you could have sat that out. I know it's a monumental stage. I get it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that the artists themselves, they actually pay to perform. They don't get paid to perform at Super Bowls. I didn't
Real
even
talk.
know that.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
she actually came out of pockets to put on this show. So, you know, that's pretty
Major.
amazing because you want the kickback. You know, you're banking on the kickback to for the popularity and the followers who will go and support you. And I think that was kind of creative for her to throw her little Fenty makeup into the routine.
Real
So a
talk.
lot of the
That promo.
consumers out there would pick up on that, you
Mhm.
know, and go out there and buy her makeup line. So I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I hope people caught that. You know, go out there and support her. She has another child. She has another mouth to feed. So, you know, she needs the money, you know, banking in her pockets.
Real talk. Real talk.
So tonight's show basically is about that leveling up, like, you know, maximizing our potential, our greatness to full potential.
Yes, sir.
So tonight's show, we're definitely going to be talking about that. Also, like I said, Queen Check tonight is going to be a dope Queen Check. I don't want to give it away. I don't want to reveal it too early, but we're going to get into uh, what I feel like men need to start doing. Men need to start leveling up. And I think this video is going to show you that women out here are noticing men are leveling up. So I want you guys to listen to this video and then we can talk about it, right?
Go ahead. Pull the
Women, and I'll
trigger.
tell you why. Number one, if he's really this type of guy, he probably don't have an issue with women. That's number one. Number two, when a man is secure and he's confident, and he's good being by himself, I think a lot of people try to fill up the space because they don't like being alone. This type of guy don't struggle with being alone. So he don't need you. He wants you, but he don't need you. And because he doesn't need you, he ain't gonna chase you. Which, to be honest with you, I think is a strength, because you don't want a man that needs someone, who just doesn't like being alone, so they'll take anybody just to fill in the space. That's not the kind of guy you actually want. You want a guy that's okay being alone, because if you're in his space or he wants you around, you know he genuinely.
So yeah.
Mm.
So she talks about how a man that is not going to chase every woman. And she says that's strength. And it's true. When you're a man who's very confident and you know what you bring to the table, women want you to chase them. And as there's a lot of men out there that is not complying to this whole chasing game. So you have a lot of women out there saying that men don't want to chase women anymore. What happens is our grandparents and our parents used to chase our mothers and, you know, grandmothers. And the thing about it is, back then women didn't really have the option to go and, you know, push out this masculine energy or even be very competitive against their mate in the household. It pretty much was the role. So, you know, everything back then was more focused on the roles. Now we're seeing the roles are being broken, and women feel like they bring in more to the table. They feel like they need to deserve more to the table. And even though they don't want to give what they want to reciprocate, they feel like I need to get the benefits of both sides. So I need you to be very chivalrous. I need you to go out here and bring home the bacon, but I also could go out here and bring home the bacon. And
Right.
then also you can't worry about me doing my traditional roles that I was taught and saw growing up. I feel like nowadays those roles are basically putting women into a slavery position. So now you're talking about women who see it as a slave standpoint more than seeing it as a functional unit. So now men are like, yo, listen, this is a little bit too much. Like, you know, you're not trying to reciprocate. You guys run around here and get these jobs that offer all of this money, and then all of a sudden your head get big along with it, and now you're looking down on me and not
Mm.
looking at me as a partner, but you're looking at me as a roommate. So now
Wee.
men are starting to realize, like, look, we have to line up with women that appreciate us, that see value in us,
Right.
see us more than what pockets, you know. And now, so these men are being very skeptical and also being very more, I want to say, more intentional about who they go after. So it's not like something that you see everything just zipping in front of you and you want to go chasing it around like a little cat. You
Right.
know, you're observing it and you're saying, nah, that ain't even worth my attention. And you're waiting for that one that gets your attention so you can engage in. And I think a lot of women are seeing that men are on that point and they're not running and reacting like before, but they're starting to take more time to dissect the women that that's in their vicinity that they see. And I think that in itself makes women feel like men are more feminized, but in actuality, men aren't feminized. They're more accurate and more intentful about what they want. Because at the end of the day, in the long run, you want to marry your soulmate, your life partner, you know, that you want to carry out life with. And you just don't want to entangle or get involved with somebody, invest in them so heavily, and they're not even fully potential into you, and
Real
they
talk.
can just part ways, and then you know the man who is doing everything ends up hurting him or breaking his pockets depending on how bad financially it hit him by how much he invested into that woman.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of guys are seeing that and they're waking up, and I want to commend them and my hats go off to them because you are valuable. You are a person of self worth. And I think self worth and being valuable is something that men lack in nowadays. And what happens is because we lack self help and I mean, self love and self confidence is the reason why we're at the top of the mountain when it comes to being 3 times more suicidal than any other person out here.
Right.
So, in order for us to take down the suicide rate, we have to start seeing value in ourselves. We have to start understanding that we are worth something. And it also eliminates you from getting into situations that either take away your life or end up putting you in somewhere that you will jeopardize your life. So I think men are being more strategic and it's paying off for them. And women are very frustrated because now every man isn't just getting with a woman just to get with a woman. They're being very intentional and they're being very picky and they're understanding how to line up and pick the right woman going into the future. So I love it. Y'all, thoughts on that?
Yeah, to piggyback on that, I just want to mention a post that I put up earlier this week. I was reposting someone, and basically they said when men get to the point of when pussy don't move them, those are the men these
Mm,
women do not like. They're speaking about a lot of modern women, and they go on to say because now they got to bring more than pussy to the table. I love it. And the caption that I put on there was "Sister with a word" this morning. It was a female that posted this actually. Very
hmm.
interesting. A lot of these women are starting to call out these other females and their bullshit.
Yeah.
And I said, sister spoke with a word this morning. Fellas, dick discipline is everything. And
Mm,
I've been beating this drum for a very long time. You know, at the end of the day, fellas, everything that look good for you ain't good for you. You know, you got these
right.
women out here, they got the wrong attitude, the wrong energy, the wrong everything. You know, I used to be one of those still guys, you know, I'm gonna still smash that for 60 to 90 days. You know what I'm saying? I used to be one of those guys.
Mm,
But bruh, over time and with maturity, you start to figure out it's just not worth it. It's not worth your time. You know, when you start understanding that every time you have sex with a woman, you run the risk of impregnating her, you run the risk of catching the STD, something like that. It's just not worth it. Not to mention, you know, the residual feelings that are left over, usually on her side, where she wants to have some type of establishment with you, and you just want to just knock it down to begin with. You know, it's time to just break all of that. You know, just stop. Just come to a grinding, screeching halt and just stop, man. If she's not worth long-term pursuit, building a life around, having something meaningful with, just drop her ass, man. Like don't even be bothered with it. It's not worth your time. It's really not in the long run. I know that's easier said than done, especially for a young cat, but take it from me as your OG. You know what I'm saying? It'll keep you out of a lot of bullshit that's just unnecessary, man. These low energy females, that idolize all these, I'm a hoe rappers and these reality TV show personalities. They idolize these type of women. They follow these type of women. They emulate their behavior. They think their disrespect is cute. They think their low energy attitude is cute. They think it's attractive. Man, you don't need no low life bummy ass female like that around you. Real talk. Just drop them all together and only deal with queens. I am telling you, you will thank yourself in the end. That's what I got to say about that. You spoke absolute truth right there, brother. You know what I'm saying? And we really, really, really got to start leveling up with the type of females that we associate ourselves with, value our seed.
Exactly. Right.
And our energy, our time, everything. Because when you deal with them type of low females like that on a regular, especially, that is showing, just beyond a shadow of a doubt that you don't value yourself as a man. We got to tighten up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bobby?
One of the things that I've been stressing for a while now is that, especially for men, because typically this is pushed to women, we really don't have too many guys actually pushing this message, but it's just as important for men, if not more so for us, um, to really push the idea that you have to stop dealing with women from a scarcity mindset. It's the scarcity mindset that caused you to try to reach out to and grab a hold of any and every female that's in arm's length. If she's alive, if she has a heartbeat, she's fair game, she's a target, she's target practice, she's someone to reach out to for a number of different reasons. I mean, it's God, we could be here all week chopping up why that's just so ass backwards for a number of reasons. But some of the minor ones is that, again, you can't entertain any and everyone because everybody's on different energies, everyone's on different agendas, and everybody doesn't mean you well. There are a lot of brothers right now who are in prison, in debt. They're 6 feet under. They're in all kinds of bad states simply on account of a woman that was in their lives that they were dealing with, and because they didn't execute proper discernment, or in some cases they did have the right discernment. They knew this chick wasn't someone to be with. This wasn't someone to be caught up with. But they figured, well, the sex looks good, or I want to hit that, or for whatever other hang up they had, they figured, well, she's here, she's available, she's willing, so let's go. And they're paying price for it. And whether they hit that, or whether they were just in the company for whatever it is they were hoping to get out the relationship, that ended up being the most expensive transaction for them ever. You're still paying for it. Another issue is when you have, and you spoke on this before when you're talking about what led up to you meeting the love of your life, Major. Relationships and people are a lot like parking lots and parking spaces.
Okay.
If you have, it doesn't matter how good the parking space is. You could have a parking space, if there's a parking lot a whole mile long, real high volume store that you got right there. You could be the parking space. You could have a parking space that's right there in front of the store with shade, hop, skip, and jump away from the entrance. Some cars might drive by and might maybe camp out for a little bit to see if there's anything moving, if someone's come out or not. But nobody's gonna stay there forever. Eventually, they're gonna circle around. They're gonna look for another one, and eventually, they're gonna take another spot that's somewhere else available. If you have the wrong person in your parking spot, you're not gonna have that Rolls Royce, that Bentley, that Lambo, that high-end vehicle. That high-end vehicle is not gonna wait all day for the spot to come available. As soon as it sees it's occupied, keep on going because they got things to do. They didn't come here to park. They came here to handle business, to shop, get in, get out. So when you have the wrong vehicle in your spot, what you were doing is you were deterring more valuable vehicles from coming and parking up in there. And the only ones that's going to be camping around and circling and orbiting, waiting to get in, is usually going to be another vehicle that's just as run down, just as bummy, equally doesn't deserve to be up in there.
Real talk.
And that's how it works. When you clear out the junk and the clutter, you make space for what actually should be in that place. But as long as you have that scarcity mindset, any and everything, you're not gonna have what you
Yeah.
really want. And at first, it's a scary prospect. It's crazy because in your mind you just see the loss. I could have had her. I could have been with that one.
Right.
Man, normally I'd have had this, that, and the third. And it feels like you're losing out. But when you actually weigh that quality versus quantity, you find out the right woman, the right person, a
That's it.
hundred of them can't touch it.
Mm-hmm. I've
Yeah.
You
said
got
this
to
a
start
million
getting that
times.
mindset. We don't teach our boys this, and this is a childhood problem because from childhood we teach young boys that volume is what matters. You know, the more
Right.
women you get, you're really doing that. We need
They
to start teaching our kids the opposite because it's hard to teach grown adult men who have been wired this way for the longest. This is part of the basic operating. It's difficult to drill that in.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We
Mm-hmm.
start teaching our boys, hey, you know what? She might be cute, but she always get in trouble.
Right.
She ain't good terms with her parents. Her grades are poor, whatever. That's not someone you need to be around. You need to think about a girl who's more self, is more focused. When you start pushing that kind of thing and start getting them to think, it's not about five of them. It's not about eight of them. It's about the one. It's gonna make a huge difference in that brother's life, and it's gonna carry over to other things too. Because how you do one thing is how you do all things. So
Right.
it goes from I'm not taking any old woman to I'm not taking any old job.
Right.
I'm not living in any old neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm not coming up with any old goals. How you do one thing is how you do
All things.
everything else.
Jason
That's
Black.
how
Shout out
people are.
Jason Black. Real shit.
Definitely. Real
Brother,
talk.
Salute.
I've been saying that, and just to dead it, you know what I'm saying? I have been saying for the longest time. Listen, we got to get out of that mindset from when a young boy, when you 3, 4 years old, if you're a cute kid, what they say to you. This is the women, by the way, what they say to you. Oh, you gonna have all the girls.
You're gonna be a little heartbreaking when they grow up.
You're gonna be a
That's
hot.
my boyfriend.
That's my boyfriend. The women say this. You're gonna have all the girls. Then when they grow up and they want to fuck all the girls, oh, you a dog. No, that's what you've been taught. You've been conditioned to think that way. Unfortunately, a lot of cases, a lot of times, the first person who puts that type of thought in your head is a woman. You understand what I'm
Literally
saying?
creating the very problems that they're gonna later on down the line complain about. All the men you can't stand now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Guess who made them that way? It
Mm-hmm.
largely in
Yeah.
part. Now, not to say the fellas don't have, some part in that. You know what I'm saying? We push that culture, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But a
Absolutely.
lot of times, the people who claim to be the biggest haters of that type of mentality are the main proponents of it from a very early age, and that's something that we don't talk about a lot. So yeah, we,
It's
we
all
gotta
cool in the game until it
Exactly.
starts to affect them. Then it's not fun anymore.
right. How about
Exactly.
that? Isn't
Exactly.
it funny how that works?
Yeah. We talk. I talk about that a lot, especially in the realms of when you see women with young boys and the young boys are being chivalrous,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when
Yeah.
you're young, you want to do things for the girls. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
want to buy them flowers on Valentine's Day. You're in middle school, high school. You always run to your parents and be like, "Mom, can I get a bit of money?" And she'll be like, "Why? Why do you need money?" "Oh, I want to give it to this girl."
Mm-hmm.
First thing she say is, "Which girl?"
Uh-huh.
"No, you're not gonna take my hard-earned money to go give no hussy."
Right.
So
Right.
you already breaking him down from the chivalrous act by
Uh-huh.
saying that.
Right.
And it's crazy because, like you said,
But they want that.
you're creating the same problems you're going to complain about. So
Mm-hmm.
by you not promoting that chivalrous act through your son at a young age, and you're saying, "Nah, you're not gonna take my money to go spend on another girl,"
Right.
then when he grows up, he's gonna have that same mentality. Now, you as a grown woman is running around here and you're talking about, man, these men don't want to spend money on me. Well,
Right.
he's been conditioned to not spend money on women.
By
You know what
you.
I'm saying? So you're contradicting and you're breathing the same thing that you hate.
Yep.
And it's funny to me because I bring it up all the time. I see women do it all the time with these they have young sons. They be like, "No, you're not going to spend my money on no girl." And then when he get older and she's that age, then she's over here yelling about men don't spend money on them.
Uh-huh.
They're
Yep.
conditioned. We're creatures of habit. We're
Right.
conditioned. Whatever we're conditioned to, that's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I find it funny, but that was a great point that you said. And I
Yeah.
And it's
also want,
usually one or two extremes with that too. It's usually either they completely turn the boy into a complete simp where all of a sudden he's just going out of his way, tripping over himself to do any and everything for women across the board, or it's the polar opposite where they got him completely shut off and now you can't get so much of a crumb out of him.
Yeah.
Instead of
yeah,
teaching him, you're supposed to do these things for the right girl, the one that you care
Right.
about, not for every single. Don't be a doormat.
yeah,
Don't be a walking ATM. Any woman can come to you and you know get the lotto out of you,
Uh-huh.
but be
yeah,
discerning of who you do these things for. It's never anything in the middle. So when you're unhealthy, it's not just your relationships with the opposite sex you got to worry about. It's also your kids
yeah,
that you're bleeding into as well. So you got to be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
definitely,
Real talk. But
definitely.
I am glad that men are figuring out the con, so to speak, because we've been taught since we were this much years old that women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and you're just supposed to be kind to them and treat them wonderfully just because they're women. And that's all fine and dandy if they're deserving of the treatment. But no, nobody should just be treated, in this exalted type of fashion just because. No, you got to earn that shit. And that's a blessing. That's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? We go
Exactly.
back and forth and we feed off each other's energy. I'm the type of guy that deserves that king treatment, and you're the type of woman that deserves that queen treatment, and we give it to each other, and we both strong and we mashing out here.
Exactly. And to make to Bobby's point before I go to this next slide
Yeah.
is that Bobby was talking about the parking lot. And you know what's so crazy about it is when you have a raggedy car, you want to squeeze your car up front. But you notice when people have a nice car, you know where they park their car?
In the
Way to
cut.
the back.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
always notice it's always that one imbecile that comes all the way back there to park right next to you because
Right.
Go
you
find
value,
some
you
kind
feel me?
of
You
man.
value
Real
your
talk.
car so much you're not gonna want it to be next to all the clutter and included into everybody else because you are a brand that's outside of everything else that's around it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out because it was a great point about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to lead into this chart that I'm going to show you guys right now. All right, so this
Yeah.
is a chart. This is a basic chart that we see that is pretty much your life. You know, when you talk about leveling up, this is how you level up. This is going to be your chart of life as far as everybody that's watching this. When you're looking at this chart is pretty much the elevation of you as a person and also elevation of you when you're in a partnership, when you're with somebody. So you always, when you're at your lowest level, when you out here not making no money as a man, when you out here just goofballing around and doing dumb stuff, you're in your survival mode.
Mm.
You're at your check to check, one mess up and you probably be asked out, or homeless or whatever. So you're in survival mode when you're at your lowest form, when you're not out here grinding and getting the bag and, or just leveling up to the level at your full potential that you need to be. You're out here just skating around. That's what our elders always say. You're skating through life. You're at the survival level, which is the lowest level. Then you go up to your comfort level. This is the comfort level of I'm comfortable at this level because you don't push yourself to go any higher. And you feel like at this level, everything around you is pretty much set. You're very comfortable with the situation you're in because currently you feel like this level, I don't have any pressure, I'm okay, and everything is going so good. And that type of level of mentality that you have is also could be very detrimental because when you're in your comfort zone, a lot of times you're not expecting the unexpected. So you're comfortable in that zone until the unexpected hits you. And when the unexpected hits you, sometimes you're so comfortable that you'll get knocked off your axle, and you'll drop down to the survival mode. So it's very important that when you're in the comfort zone, that you're prospering and you're trying to elevate more than just being comfortable because at any moment you could be knocked and not be comfortable. So the next level you have is the contentment, right? So you're
Right.
content at this level, meaning that I have money, I have extra money, I'm good, everything is going, flowing good for me right now. I'm just content. Like I don't want to do anything more or whatever the case may be. Now, the problem with the content level is you might have everything financially. You might be good at where you're at. But when you're content like this, it's bad when you are adding somebody else in your system. When you're adding a lover or a mate that comes into your world, the content is going to be your Achilles heel, because when you're content with just you being you. But when you are in a system with another person, the you becomes we, the I becomes we, or the I becomes us. So
Mm.
now that you're content by yourself, now that you have somebody else in your life, you can't be content, because now you have to make sure that you have enough for yourself and you have enough for your mate, because you are, as a man, you're the anchor of this ship. You're the one who holds things down. You hold things in place. So an anchor is very heavy, and they are, with the anchor, it holds weight. You got to hold that weight. And you can't hold weight when you're content and you're not willing to grow when you have not only your mate, but also if you're a person that's also looking to build a family, you have now other people that you have to generate more money for, so that not only they are straight, but you're not only you're straight, but they're straight as well. So
Mm-hmm.
then you go up to the next level. Once you elevate from the content level, now you're in the level of happiness. Now you're over here striving. You're happy, she's happy. And this is important for you to have a mate that, I wouldn't say that a mate makes you happy, but the way they interact with you, the way that you guys entwine, the way that you guys correlate with each other, that generates the happiness. It's the yin, the yang, how I flow off of you, kind of like tango, right? So you're doing the tango and you're doing the moves, and there's sometimes that the guy would have to give up control to the woman in that dance, and then the man comes back and he takes control over in that. But the tango is basically showing you that I have to basically trust you as my partner. You're
Right.
my dance partner. I have to trust you when you dip me. I have to trust you that you're going to turn me a certain way, and I'm not going to lose balance. So that's where the happiness comes from, is basically when you're entering life, your guys are tangoing with life. So there's going to be times where your woman is going to have to take control of some moments, and there's going to be times where you're going to have to take control of some moments. But you guys have to flow together, fluent. You guys have to have a fluent flow with each other in order for you guys to tackle life. And that elevates you up to togetherness. With that togetherness, that cohesiveness, that is what gels and solidifies the foundation of what you guys have built. And when you guys are running in a togetherness, trust me, that fort is so solidified, no outside entity or anybody can destroy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we always hear people say, um, you know, no weapons against us shall prosper. That's what happens when you build a prosperous and solidified fort and a unified front together. When a guy comes to the house and knocks on the door, wants to sell insurance. Sometimes the husband would be like, "Hey, I got to wait till my wife come home," or the wife would be like, "Hey, I got to wait till my husband come home." But it's, even though the man can make the decisions because he's the man of the household, it's the togetherness. Like, we're going to make this decision together. We're going to make sure that everything that goes on in this house, we have a say. Everybody has a say in it. You have a say in it. I have a say in it. We come together and find out what's the best solution for that house. That's togetherness. Whenever you have somebody that's off balance or off code of what you're aligned with, you're not going to be together. You're not going to be solidified front, and that house collapse. And when it collapses, you fall right back down to survival, because now
Yep.
you guys are broken up. You're on a different chord. You're going your direction. They're going their direction, and you can fall right back into the survival mode, which is the bottom of the pits. They always say you fall flat on your face flat on survival mode. So it's
Mm.
important to be on code together to have a united front, and have that cohesiveness and understand that it's one band, one sound. That's like my favorite part of drumline. You know, one band, one sound. Nobody hears you in a band. They hear the band. They don't hear you. They hear the band. So when we move as a unit. Nobody
Right.
hears us as an individual. They don't hear me as a Mr. and they don't hear you as a Mrs. They hear us as together. The Williams. That's what they hear. They hear the Williams, not the Mr. and not the Mrs. They hear the Williams, the family name, together, right? Then you move up to the partnership. That's when you are at the complete top of the level as purposeful partnership, meaning that you guys are aligned on all cylinders. You're at the peak of everything. Everything is functioning. You have backup plans and this plan, and you're building so much generational wealth for your family. You're covering all aspects in all areas, and now you guys are flourishing. This is the maximum level that you want to get to and achieve. And you can achieve it by you understanding your purpose, you understanding selecting the quality mate that you need to select, and basically align yourself with to get to that level. Once you get to that level, trust me, in life, you will enjoy every aspect of it and it'll be full functioning and the most happiest you'll ever be in your life. I promise you that.
Real talk.
So that's the
Real.
difference between the floundering and the flourishing. Everybody wants to get to the flourish line. They want to get to that mission line. So I just wanted to show you guys this pyramid, just to show you how the elevation of how two people, where you can start with yourself and then elevate up to a unit together. But this is basically a basic blueprint of how you can climb the ladder onto greatness, but you have to tap into that greatness in order for you to get to that maximum level.
It's spot on.
So
Spot
you
on,
guys
bro.
want to add anything onto that?
I think it was all said, man. That's spot on, man. You laid that out perfectly. That's
Just
everything.
in addition to information and that whole I was looking at some of the other breakdowns of it and that whole EQ line, that wasn't lost on me how they don't have contentment and happiness lumped into the same piece, but they have contentment here, and then
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of that line, there you have happiness and then everything else. Because
Mm-hmm.
contentment, that tends to be the place where you get complacent.
Mm-hmm.
Complacency kills. There's a mathematical concept, it's in statistics, but there's also a philosophical and a psychological concept that borrows from that, known as regression to the mean.
Yeah.
And in mathematical applications, what it basically says is that if an extreme occurrence happens, then the next occurrence is much likely to be a whole lot more within the normal range. But in
Mm-hmm.
life terms, basically what it basically means that nothing is ever too good or too bad for too long. So when you have a point in life where you're real happy, where everything is going perfect for you, work's going great, family life is great, relationships going great, kids, everything is just going perfect. It means that it's never going to be that way for too long. So somewhere on the line, things are going to wind down and might get to an extreme where things go terribly wrong. There's a death in
Mm-hmm.
the family, you lose your job or something that way, or even where things just cease to be great but just become good, because life is all about the middle. Life is
Mm-hmm.
about balance. So everything strives to be in the middle. So ultimately, nothing's ever going to be horrible for long. Nothing's ever going to be amazing for long, because life strives to be right in the average. So
Yeah.
it's important to not get content, because when you have those great times, that's not the time to just take your foot off the gas and like, okay, we good, we made it. Nah, because you need
Yeah.
to understand that it's not going to be this way forever. It's going to be some hardship or something that's going to challenge you. And if you just got your guard down, got your feet kicked up, you're going to get clapped across your head. But
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
things are going really horribly, you know, keep heart, keep hope, stay focused, keep looking for that opportunity. Because at some point along the line, you're gonna have an opportunity to get back to good again. But the key is to never get comfortable. Always be
Mhm.
striving to get to the best where you so that way you can maximize the good times. And when hard times come, it's not going to take too much to get you back in shape because you were already doing what you were supposed to be doing in the first place.
Real talk.
Yeah,
Keep your legs
definitely,
moving. Keep hustling. Real talk.
definitely, definitely.
Stay at it.
So yeah, it's very important that you understand the levels, understand who you are as a person, because as men, uh, if you don't understand your value, you'll end up being with women that mean you no value. And I saw something that caught my eye, and I know you guys are gonna laugh at this, but this is the type of women that you want to avoid, and it just makes you wonder because these women are also bashing other women too in the process. So I saw this the other day. I don't
Ah,
know if you guys ran across it.
oh yeah, I'm the one that sent you that. Well, you might have seen it before I sent you. But yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
A female believes natural bodies are for poor females.
Ah, ah,
And she says, I said what I said. So, you don't want to come across women like that because those women, they don't see value in, things that are of quality.
right.
They're more in the mindset of a quick fix, right? A microwave mindset. So
Uh-huh.
it's like if something is wrong, I could just go and pay and get it done and fix it. And that right there, it doesn't build, that's people that don't really have any character. And
Correct.
those are the people that, if tough times come along, those are the people that are going to jump ship from you. Those are the
Right.
women that are going to run out here and probably look for another dude while they're either married to you or are heavily in a relationship with you.
Hmm.
And that's going to break you because those type of women are very toxic women. And everybody doesn't handle breakups or heartbreaks the same way.
Right.
And it's also very dangerous for those women because those women might do that to the wrong dude and it might end up being into some domestic violence suicide.
Yeah.
And part of what we're talking about is we don't want men to get to that level of mentality. I
Yeah.
think we have to eliminate the thought of domestic suicide because when you do that as a man, you're ruining lives, meaning you're ruining your own family life because you're going to take your own life, and then that means you're taking somebody else's life. So you're ruining two families' lives in the process.
Right.
Um, Also, is that you don't see value in yourself. In order for you to take a life because somebody doesn't want you or anything like that, it lets me know how low of a person you have to be in order to do that.
Right.
And you're not setting yourself up to put yourself in a position where you have, and we say it all the time, people who have value or see themselves valuable, whether it's in a fight, whether they're about to engage in a fight or not, they'll say to themselves, I got too much to lose.
Right.
Once you have that mentality, I got too much to lose, you walk away from everything and you'll rebuild and start over because you know your potentials, you know what you're capable of doing, and you don't have time to engage in that negative or anything that will destroy your livelihood. So we just want men to understand that you're valuable and don't get caught up in low energy females in the process that will bring down your value. Avoid them. Go out there and find the women that make you a better man. And
Yes.
when I say make you a better man, is they tap into what you got going on and enhance it. And in the process, you, as a man that is a valuable, you tap into a woman and make her a better woman. And
Yes.
that's the process we need to be on and not just out here banging down women. And then these women, I said it all the time, that a lot of the women that you guys are engaging with should be women that should never have been in your phone contact list in the first place. You guys have to do a valuable sweep out of your phone and get some of them ratchet, hood rat. I was on liquor, man, and I think I might take one for the team. Got to get those women up out of your phone because a lot of times when you guys get that thirsty and that desperate, you end up getting one of these women pregnant. And when you get one of these women pregnant, now all of a sudden, you don't know what to do with yourself, and then you get down into the domestic suicide. There was a guy, I think he was a rapper. I'm not sure if he's from Florida, but it was just recently he had beat a double murder charge, got out, and he was
Mm.
with his girl, and she ended up being pregnant. She had a 1 year old child already. He found out she was pregnant, and he shot and killed her in front
Horrible.
of her 1 year old.
Horrible.
And he did that because he didn't want to be with her. And when he found out she was pregnant, he didn't want that child to be born. So he got rid of her. And that's so sad, to put yourself in a situation like that, um, to get somebody pregnant that you don't want to get pregnant. And you could have just walked away and handled his responsibilities, but he was just so ashamed of the girl. And, more than likely, he probably had another woman and didn't want the complications of everything going wrong with that. So, he took the low energy. I don't have any remorse or any type of empathy for people that do that. It's like the lowest thought you can ever do. The most disrespectful stuff you can ever do is taking somebody else's life because you don't want to man up to your responsibility.
Real
That's
talk.
not the men that we campaign for on this show. We despise those type of men, and we want to correct other men from going down that path. And this is the reason why we do this show and we created this platform, is so that we can eradicate a lot of this negative and dusty and bad behavior that plagues our community
Real talk.
day in, day out. I'm tired of seeing the news clips of it. I'm tired of hearing these stories. It's over and over. If you got a low energy man, please put him onto this program. We open up our lines to anybody. You can jump on here. You can talk to us. You can, any questions you want to ask in the comment section. You need to talk. You need somebody to talk to. You need some advice, man. Don't be afraid to come on here and ask us, because we have to clean up the community one by one day at a time. We have to do what we do as men and clean up our community. I am my brother's keeper. I'm going to hold you to your accountability. I'm going to hold you responsible for your actions, just like you can hold me responsible for my actions. And I would hold that accountability, and I would take that accountability if I do something that's not man-like or rolls with our community in the right productive way. So we
Right.
got to get up out of that. We have to definitely um, get to the level where our mindset is way off of that. And I know you, Major, had sent me something that I had, and we can discuss that because this is the low energy vibe in our community that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So this individual, Joseph Edward Tolliver, Florida PE teacher, 37, accused of having sexual relations with 14-year-old student.
Mm-hmm.
And from the reports that I've seen, is that this individual had basically was climbing through the window, having sex with this 14-year-old student that I guess was in his PE class that he met or from the school. And he also hit her up on her phone and told her to come outside, where they engaged in sexual activity inside of their car. This is a 37-year-old man. There is no excuse for why he should be engaging in acts with a minor. Um, that to me is very low energy. There is over 5 billion people in this world, and we as men of this age, should not be engaging with any child, period. There's more than enough grown women out there that will engage in any sexual activities with you.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to pry or pray or even groom a minor into doing anything sexual with you. As men in the community, we should not be preying on our children. What we should be doing is being out there to be a second father or a mentor or a big brother or a big uncle to these children in our community. And if you're not doing that, you are the problem and not part of the solution. And we have to get rid of these people and this mindset that plagues our system from generation to generation. It has to come to a point where we have to get this nonsense and behavioral activity up out of our community, because our children need to be safe again. And remember, when you have somebody of this age engaging with a minor like this 14-year-old girl is never going to be the same again. You know, right now she's mentally screwed up. And then when she gets older and the guys that's around her age, they're going to have to deal with the backlash that happened, that occurred with this older man has put onto that younger girl throughout her life. So somebody else is going to have to deal with this girl and try to help her in the process. It's going to be tougher on that guy because of this low energy dude and what he has caused to that minor little girl during that time. So
Right.
I know
Oh,
you brought this up, Major, and you was talking about that. You wanted to speak more about it. So go ahead.
true. Now let me first go back to the other joint, because you went from
Yes.
one right to the other.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
let me go back to that one real quick. Just just speaking, adding to that, these low energy domestic situations are just way out of hand. I know a cat from back in the days, this cat I went to school with named Sean. I've talked dudes off the ledge, you know what I'm saying, just to put it out there. Guys be involved with this chick, she like the neighborhood pass around, whatever, and then how it go. They get hooked, the cat good, and they get all emotional, and now they start tripping, right? You know who she
Yeah.
was from the jump, you know what I'm saying? But you get caught up, like you say. Okay, now you got a baby with her, you know what I'm saying? Now you got to deal with
Yeah.
her for life, and you didn't even. This wasn't even a chick that you was thinking about being serious with to begin with, but it was some oops shit, because
Yeah.
a lot of us are medicated and got drinking demons and all that type of stuff. But that's a whole other conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But this is what it is. You still end up in that situation, and now you ready to go blast on something. You ready to go smash on something, but you knew what this was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You knew where it was going. You knew what was likely to happen because you knew the type of female that you was dealing with to begin with. A lot of time as men, we put ourselves in these situations. You know what I'm saying? And we quick to call women out for putting themselves in a situation. You know what I'm saying? But we don't, when it's us doing the same thing, going out here just, like spending time with this low quality female that, like you said, and has her phone number ain't even got no business in your phone to begin with. You know what I'm saying? I know, because I've been that guy. You feel me? We got to get off that, because if for no other reason than for self-preservation, it's just dangerous, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to start thinking about these type of low-level females and the type of shit they teach your children. You look at Kanye. Look at him out here losing his goddamn mind every other week because this whore is a mother to his kids. You understand what I'm saying? Like, where they do that at? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be you put yourself in that predicament, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. Nobody told you to do that. You could have had the pick of the litter. You chose this low-hanging fruit, and this is what you stuck with for life, bro. You understand what I'm saying? This is important, man. Like, this is your legacy. And the woman is the first teacher of the child and the main teacher of the child. So you got to think before anything, man. You know what I'm saying? Before I even talk to a female as a grown ass man, I watch her before I even step to my wife that I'm with right now. I watched her for about a half an hour just to see how she behaved. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at her. I'm like, wow, this woman is really beautiful. I like the way she carries herself. XYZ is popping. Okay, the body's on point. This, that. Okay. And subconsciously, on a subconscious level, before I even say hello, as a grown ass man, I'm thinking, what type of example would this woman set for my children? How would she represent me as a wife? If you are not thinking about that before you go approach a woman, before you say hello, you're not doing your due diligence as a man. That's just how it is. I've been the angel on the right side talking these dudes out of going and doing something real reckless to their baby mama or to their girlfriend or to their wife for that matter. I've been that guy. I know a cat named Sean that I went to school with. You know, he went to jail back when right after high school for, you know, this girl was messing around on whatever. He went to Denny's, sat down, had a lunch with her, shot her in the face at Denny's.
Damn.
You understand where I'm coming from? This is something I've seen up close and personal, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of stands out to me more, you know, and I see guys constantly put themselves in harm's way by dealing with these low-life females, bro. Never, not even just them, you know, the kind of guys that you rock with, your boys need to be solid. If they ain't solid, they don't need to be your boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. That's why I rock with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all solid brothers. Even my girl was like, damn, all your people came through. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they said they was gonna come through. You know what I'm saying? If you say you go come through, it's expected that you come through. Your word is your bond. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. To this second dude, this other little pervy bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, man. We used to have little pervy bastards like that back in the day in North Miami. There's this one cat, Mr. Durant. They locked his ass up, caught him messing with some of these underage girls. The security guard, Victor, caught his ass, locked his ass up, XYZ. Man, it was bad. It was bad. We had a few of them. And what always tripped me out was people suspected them, but nobody said nothing. Nobody did nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, these little girls grew up to, you know, they grew up to be sex workers, some of them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them grew up to be strippers. Some of them are escorts, whatever the case may be. Some of them live perfectly normal lives. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them went that way. But a lot of the ones that went that way, you know, people don't understand, you know, the stories of some of these girls who do some of this sex work and, you know, they dancing, they entertainers or whatever. You ever sit down and actually talk to them, you find out a wealth of stuff, man. You know, you find out about the histories of molestation since they was like 3 and 4 and all that type of shit, being raped by family members and all that type of shit. It's real out here, man. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you know, men in the community need to be mentors, you know, or guides for these young people. I told you when I was in high school, you know, I was in dropout prevention my first year. I went to AP classes my second year, but that's a whole other situation. You know what I'm saying? Because they figured out I wasn't dumb. I just had an attitude problem. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was they took me after they found out, okay, this kid is pretty smart. It's like, okay, well, we take you out of class for a few days. Can you talk to some of these underclassmen and help them stay in school? So I started doing mentoring with the guy. You see the guy who was dancing at the wedding with the dreads? Yeah, that's the cat who used to he used to go to the underclassmen with me, and we would mentor. This is as a child I'm doing this. So as you know, I'm gonna agree with you saying that as men we should be doing this. I was doing this as a child. You know, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I did that, and then I did it for 8 years afterwards. So I did about 10 years of that mentoring. We need to really get on that heavy, man, because we don't understand that half of what's going on in these kids' lives out here. It's a wreck. Their lives are a total wreck sometimes by the time they're 15 or 16. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of little dirty dudes. You know, man, the community need to deal with them first. Back in the day, that's how it was. You'd be glad if the police because if the homies found out about you, they were going to be scraping your ass up off the street.
For real.
As they should.
Yeah.
Amen.
You're right.
Real talk. I believe in that. I believe in that heavy. You know, it should come from the community because these people are harming our children. You know what I'm saying? You got to come down on their ass with the iron fist, man, because these cats don't learn. They think it's safe. That's why they're doing it out here. And it's sad to say, but they target black kids a lot of the time because they realize the system don't care about black kids and they feel like black kids are easy target.
Exactly.
The worst kind of slime.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Bob. What you said?
No, and they ain't wrong either.
Yeah.
I gotta be because we're trying to keep episodes on there, and I know YouTube has If there's one thing YouTube is good for, it's good for shadow banning folk that wax a little too candid and too raw. So I have to be very careful with how I speak about this stuff. This whole subject is something that is it's a hot button issue for me. It doesn't take much for me to get started on this, but what I can and will say, and this is going to be the only thing that I say directly regarding Mr. Tolliver, is I specifically wore my favorite shirt today for the occasion because I'm gonna let it say for me what I'm gonna let it speak for me in a different way what I really want to say. But see right here, shout out to Kill Crew for this amazing quality product, by the way.
Mm.
Says
Okay.
says make sure to ankle pick your local pedophile.
All right. All right.
You catch a mofo, male or female, in the street, you see your local pedophile, make
Yeah.
sure you pick that ankle one good time and whatever else you do afterwards,
Hey,
I don't think you
Yeah.
can go hard enough.
that's what it is.
Um, as for the
Agree.
issue, these are one of the things that we need to attack is because one of the things that I've noticed that bothers me and irritates me is that we seem to have a very we seem to have a very light, almost kind of lightweight view of these people. Um, these people aren't. This isn't something like, oh, you go out to the club or whatever. You know, I see a shorty, she looks fine, whatever. No, these people are sick.
Mhm.
These are deranged, wicked people with corrupted minds. These are children we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
These are little children with no life experience whatsoever to speak of. They're undeveloped. Their minds are, these are not adults in any way, shape, or form or fashion. These kids don't, and I say this all love in the world, these kids don't know shit about shit. All they know is what they see on TV and the internet, and that's it. These are babies.
Right.
Yeah.
They are not ready for the world that they're about to head in. Not even in a sexual sense. They're not ready for life. They
Mhm.
don't understand the concept of bills. Everything's been done for them up until this point in their lives. They are responsible for the shelter over their head, the clothes on their back. Their biggest concerns, their biggest stresses are their grades, studying for the next test. Some little cute boy or some little handsome, some little cute boy, little cute girl has their attention, and oh, and all of a sudden, you know, they're talking to them, they're dating for a week, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, they're broken out of the thing. The world's these are kids,
Innocent.
Mhm.
Innocent.
innocent. No
Yeah.
matter how hard headed, how knuckleheaded some of them might be, no matter how rebellious or how wild out they might be, these are kids.
Yeah.
And you the
And for
lowest
you to be a grown ass adult,
to rob them of their innocence.
you've been through your period, your development
Yeah.
period, to come along and to try and take advantage of that. I got to
Exactly.
censor myself because I'm going there.
I hear
I'm
you,
trying to chill
dog.
out.
I hear
But
you.
nah, you need to be dealt with, and like you said, that should be a community issue.
Right.
Shouldn't be no law enforcement stepping up to that because the community should be outraged first and foremost. And I'm gonna say this unequivocally: if you are unwilling or unable to go to war about your children,
Mm.
Mm.
you aren't fit for survival
Agreed.
Yeah.
because the
Agreed.
children are the next generation. That's the future. That's the next step.
Mm.
Exactly.
Everything we're doing, we're supposed to be doing for the next generation for our kids. I cling very closely to that old Chinese proverb that says old I'm gonna say old people, but old men plant trees that they know they will never get to sit in the shade of.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything you do and every move you make is supposed to be with the future in mind, and the future is the children. So when
Right.
our
Right.
children can't even feel safe, and when you're more likely to go ahead and call somebody up than to go ahead and hey, you see this fool and handle business,
Real talk.
Exactly.
they shouldn't be
Real
able to
talk, man.
get to them before you do.
Exact.
Exactly.
There you go.
And
That's what I'm saying.
I've seen some videos with some. Thank God we haven't gotten away from that completely. I've seen some videos and some footage of some pedophiles getting caught about there, and they got in the two piece and a
Yeah.
biscuit, and they got down to the law came, whatever the case may be. And I was happy to see that. I was proud to see that. We need to get back to more of that because it's not okay.
It's
But
not.
the other side of that coin is, and we gotta, and this isn't to create no sympathy for the devil, so to speak, but we also, if we're gonna look at this thing, we need to take a whole 360-degree look at this thing. And the
Correct.
truth is, a lot of these pedophiles, most of these pedophiles, I'll say, they weren't born. A lot of them were made.
They were made. Correct. Correct.
Exactly.
You look at people like Robert Kelly, and some of the other notorious pedophiles, and you look in their backstory, and you find out that they were victims themselves.
Right.
Exactly.
Of course, that's not to say that all victims of sexual assault are going to grow to become predators later on, but you have to understand when you break, you can't tell the brain how to break. If you drop a glass on the a glass on the ground right now, you can't say, "Well, this needs to break into 5 pieces. It needs to all be shaped like circles.
Yeah.
One piece needs to be shaped like a square." No, when it breaks, and you have
Exactly.
no say over how it's going to turn out. So, when you have a victim of a circumstance like this, especially if there's no help, if there's no counseling, no therapy, no treatment, they don't catch it right away, and people are allowed to kind of put themselves back together on their own. There's no telling how how it's going to happen.
Real talk.
And so you
Exactly.
find a lot of these predators, they end up preying, and that's how you know it's psychological. A lot of these predators, their victims usually fit a certain pattern. Usually it's related to their own upbringing. So usually if someone was molested or abused at 9 or 10 years old, they start being geared towards 9 or 10 year olds. They start looking at them the same way because that's when they got jump started.
Right.
That's when those
Exactly.
switches that had no business being played with, that's when those got activated at that age. So now in their mind, this is when it starts.
Exactly.
When you come at them, they look at you like, no, man, but she look good, he look good, but man, she's sexy. Look at her butt, man. He handsome. It's bad
Yeah.
wiring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
So we got to
We
be
have
mindful of it.
we yeah, we have to stop people, men and women. They say something, and every time they say it, I'll check them. Men
Right.
will
Check
say,
that.
boy, she gonna be bad when she grow up. You
Mm.
shouldn't even be thinking
Another
about
mango
how she
season.
looked growing up. Once you say that to me, I'm going to check you about that
Yeah.
because your mindset shouldn't even be on that.
It shouldn't. It
When
shouldn't.
How
women
you got
say the
there?
same thing too,
How you got
women will
there?
say, yeah, exactly. Women will say the same thing too.
All the
They'll
time.
be like, boy, you is a sexy little boy. Boy, you gonna be my husband. Boy, if you were older, you'll be my husband.
They love to say that.
That's
You
very
my little
suspect.
boyfriend.
Yeah, that's very
Uh,
suspect on both ends, and it
uh,
needs to be checked. You know, a lot of times we'll sit back and discard it because we'll sit there and think it's cute, or we'll be like, oh, it's something nice to say, but
mm-hmm.
it's not. Well, it looks very suspect about your mindset
Yes, it does.
because that child, you should be saying, what they're doing in school. How's your
Right.
schoolwork? What do you
Right.
need help in?
Right.
Are you set yourself up financially? Is your parents setting you up
Mhm.
financially?
Are you
I
behaving
run
yourself?
across exactly.
Right.
I run across young children all the time, and I run across teenage girls and teenage boys, and I'll sit back and say to them, "Hey, does your family tell you about being financially? Are you financially literate? Do
Mm-hmm.
you know about finances? Are you working on your credit? Do you know the value of your credit? I'm not out here like, boy, you're gonna be a handsome man growing up. Oh, you're gonna be a dynamic girl growing up.
Right.
That's not my mindset. My mindset comes from you as a mentor. So I'm going to come and I'm going to try to teach you things that I myself wish somebody had grabbed and taught me at a younger
Right.
age because I have the information to get you to the level that you need to get to. So I'm going to take my time out that if I run cross paths with you, that's the first thing I want to know. I want you to get the early jump, the early head start, because
Yes.
we all know every generation before us and even us, we would have love for people to give us the valuable truth and information so we could have been a lot further than what we are now. So we've
Right.
taken this time to make sure that the next generation gets that information early. And we're seeing a lot of them are getting it early, which is good. And they're getting it through social media, which is one of the most positive things out of social media is the information is getting traveled to everybody, even the younger generation. So that's
Hmm.
good. I like that. But when it comes to checking, we got to check the mindset of the people around us, and we can't let stuff fly. You know,
Yes.
once you let it fly, it becomes soothing and acceptable. And we do that a
Right.
lot, especially when it comes to children being saying bad stuff, and we let it fly. And then when that child gets 13, he's cussing at the teacher, he's cussing at everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
now you saying, oh, I can't control my child. Yeah, because you never checked your child in the early
And it's
stages
right.
and you let it be natural. So
Mm-hmm.
now they don't know nothing else but what that is as natural. So trying to get them back on the right track is unnatural. And when something is unnatural, you're not going to want to do it.
And you know
And
why?
that's the hard problem that we have.
Yes. And you know
Definitely.
why?
And you know what
And
the worst part about that is? They always go in on the child and punish the child when the truth
yes.
is the child is doing what they were taught. The
Right.
child is
Exactly.
doing what they were taught. It should be the parent or the
Mm-hmm.
parental figure that gets their ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You allow your child to be slack and run wild doing whatever they want to do coming up, said nothing
Yeah.
about it in a lot of cases. No one can say anything to your child.
Yeah.
You want to get in other people's face when they try to check your child for being out of pocket. And
Right.
now all of a
Yeah.
sudden your child wilding out, rising up on you. Now all of a sudden want to punish the child. That's not fair to the child.
Not.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
not.
That's not
And they
fair to
do
the
this.
child.
They do this a lot of the time because they're not trying to be a parent to the child. They're trying to be the friend to the child.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Yeah.
be thought of as the cool parent so that
Yeah.
their child can think that they're down and their child's friends can think that they're down. We're in this weird space where a lot of parents want to be, it's like they're in the 13th grade. They still want to be the goddamn it kid from middle
Yeah.
school or high school, and they in their damn 40s. Sometimes,
Arrested Development.
you know, real talk. You know, I
Mhm.
see them out here. You know, you see it yourself, man. When I used to go to Iguanas, man, you see these 50-year-old women in the club competing with the 27, 28-year-olds out there twerking on the dance floor harder than them, trying to compete for the same men. As
Yep.
though those men
It
are
might
looking
be
at
their
them
daughters.
anyway.
Again, the mindset. How you do one thing is how you do all things.
Right.
You try to be a teenager all over again with your
Exactly.
kids, and you're doing it out there for real too.
That was
Yeah.
so key what Ant said about the mindset, because you have, you know, a lot of these sexual deviants out here that wear their goddamn sexuality on their sleeve like we give a damn. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And those are the type of weirdos that say these things to little children. You know, you
Mhm.
would know it's wildly inappropriate to say some sideways shit like that to a child if you understood that it was something sideways to say to a child. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I've
Yeah.
Right.
heard grown men refer to another grown man's child as sexy.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking, and the dude didn't check him on it. It's a small child. This child was like 8, 9 years old. You so pretty, so sexy. Nigga, you don't tell an 8-year-old that they're sexy, dude.
Yeah.
What is
Where's the
wrong
steel
with
chair?
you? You feel me? Like that
Where's
Yeah.
where's the claw hammer?
real talk. You know,
Yeah.
and it was in a room full of people, and nobody checked them on this. I'm like, wow. But
Yeah.
like you said,
It
and
should have been a whole prison ride in it, man.
bruh,
Yeah.
I mean, the girl father was right there, and he's supposedly conscious. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, boy, that shit
Yeah.
could have been me. You know what I'm saying? But you, like you said, and
That's
you know,
heartbreaking.
you go back to this thing where, okay, it's not even in your mental space to approach a situation, you know, or a child from an angle of, to look at them as a sexual being at all. This is a
Yeah.
child. You should be talking to them. Whenever I see a young child, I always say, hey, how's school? Are you minding your
Yeah.
parents? And ask them what they know about Black history. Those are like,
Exactly.
that's like my default. I don't be sitting up there thinking about how, you know, oh, you're gonna be fine when you grown. Like, what kind of person would I be if that was where my mind went before
Yeah.
anything else? You know what I'm saying? But the normalization, like you also said, Ant, you know, when you got these slut bucket rappers out here talking all this bullshit, you understand? And you got these people on these reality shows with this low level energy bullshit where every time you see them, they tooting up their ass and twerking, or you
Yep.
got a
Mhm.
dude talking about making it rain on some hoes. You understand what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
you normalize that, Well, like Bobby said, like Jason Black says, how you do one thing is how you do all things. You approach things with your crotch. You approach things from a sexual perspective. And so you approach everything like that. And then you just become a degenerate fucking pervert. And those are the type of dudes I just wish, again, I like Bobby said, I gotta dial it down a bit because I get passionate about that. You know what I'm saying? And like the thing says, you ankle clip your local pedophile. I say take out the ankle and just clip your local pedophile, but that's a whole other
I got a whole bunch of substitute words to put in there, but again, we're trying to stay YouTube friendly.
We got issues out here, man. We really got to get it.
Yeah, when you don't check things, right? And when we sit back and we let these incidents and behaviors and toxic behaviors plague our community, it has a negative effect. And it has a negative effect because you have people out here that are real good mates, that are good step parents, right? Yeah. That are doing the good things.
Right.
But when you have so much of this going on, the trust level of parents and even step parents is like this. It's rocky because now you have children. And if a child says something, you don't know which direction to go in because you're hearing so much things going on.
Yeah.
And you might even experienced it before with somebody you dealt with. And I saw this on a post and I wanted to share it because this is very powerful, right? So a lady wrote this and she put this up. She said, "Today I found out my 7-year-old daughter really did lie about my husband's other girlfriend as revenge for being grounded and that he never cheated on me at all.
Wow.
We are all well into our divorce proceedings and he won't forgive me for not believing him when he denied it.
Wow.
F my life."
Wow.
And this is the problem because what happens is we believe children more now because before we used to deny the children when they made accusations about somebody that their mother or their parent was dealing with that did some crazy or foul stuff. Right. So this was an incident where it wasn't anything sexual, but it could have been something sexual that she would have said, and that could have led to him having some serious problems. Yeah. So that's why I said when we in our community we have different issues like this. Now when you have a good man that's in there because of what's going on or maybe in past experiences, now a good man that was good to you, now you lost him because of a hearsay, right? Wow. And you didn't want to not believe your child because like I said before, we have many incidents where parents don't believe their children while they're under their roof getting abused and stuff like that. So now you have this decision that you made and you ran with it when your husband told you it was a lie. That's and insane. Now you're feeling the pain. And that with the part that really hit the hardest is that 3-letter word, FML, right? Fuck my life.
Yeah.
That means she knew she messed up with a good man. Yeah. But it is something that, in a community, it's like, shit, did I make the right decision or do I not make the right decision? And she didn't make the right decision. But in that point of the moment, you're going to you got to make a decision. It just turned out to be the wrong one. And like I say, when we sweep through our community, if we swept through our community and we would out here with this negative energy or bad behavior or toxic behavior, that right there wouldn't even have phased her in any form or the fashion. And she would have took the time to really dial in it to find out whether she would have paid for a private eye or something if he had another girl, that she would have spent the extra money and found out through the private eye, like, no, I follow this guy for a whole month and he's not meeting up with anybody, but because we are so sensitive to that subject and to what goes on in our community, things like that will happen.
You got to be smarter than that, though, at the end of the day. I mean, damn, you don't ever just take something like that at face value and just run with it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if it was they were doing something to your child, I could understand it more. If they were saying that they were doing something to your child, I could understand that more. Yeah. But something like that, especially, you got to kind of know your kid. I refuse to believe, you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
you don't kind of know that your kid would do something slimy like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta kind of know your kid a little bit. Also I think that before you do anything like that rash, that crass, I'm sorry, you gotta kind of know the ledge and do a little check, and verify
Yeah.
what's really going on. That was kind of lame on behalf of the mother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you reap what you sow, man. You can't be, that mentally shallow, you know what I'm saying? And your kid just kind of got over on you, in a real, messed up manner where they did F your life up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They really did. And that's also not uncommon. Kids do
Yeah.
that. They get mad at you and then, I mean,
Mhm.
they'll tell
And
a big ass lie. Mhm.
it also plays into I wanna say based on her reaction,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give her the doubt that maybe she was unhealed and triggered from past beings of being hurt.
You're probably right.
Also that could play a part in it. Maybe she wasn't fully over what had hurt. It seemed like, when you make rash decisions like that,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's something you dealt with constantly
Mhm.
before. And
Yeah.
it's like now you just draw a line to it. It's an extreme line, but
Right.
you draw a line to it, right? And
Mhm.
that's what she did. And it ended up costing her because
Hypersensitive.
she was so triggered. It was something that really, really sent her to that edge to make that drastic decision
Right.
based on what her child said.
Hmm.
And like you say, she should have did her due diligence of looking into it more thoroughly.
Yeah.
But sometimes the triggers, if you're not healed, this is why it's important for men and women to be healed,
Right.
because you'll have something that will trigger you and make you make a rash decision
Yeah.
that you may or may not regret later on down
Mhm.
the line.
Damn.
Yep. Bringing dirty shoes into a brand new house.
That's hard, boy. That's hard, man.
Yeah,
Clean, got
Damn.
clean
that's
marble tiles, got all
definitely
that
hard.
nasty mud and dog dookie and everything else just all spat on the floor.
And that
Never
Yeah,
man was probably real good for their home too. You know what I'm saying? Real good
yeah,
for the kid. Real good for the
yeah,
kid. Not a kid that shot themselves in the foot. Little bastard. That's
but
exactly.
that also could be because again, we have exactly the information that's presented there. We don't have any more. We don't have any less. But
Yeah,
that also could very likely be a case of you're not taking care of business when you're supposed to take care of business.
yeah.
Going
yeah,
back to what we were talking about just slightly before that. A
yeah,
mess is a lot easier to clean up when you catch it right away. But if you let things, go on and don't check it, it becomes this huge thing you got to contend with. So
Yeah.
exactly.
if she was willing to believe her child, because obviously the child didn't have any proof or evidence,
Mm.
Yeah,
um, but if she was that willing to believe her child on something as serious as that, I've got to imagine that this probably isn't the first time this child has come to the mom lying about something or did something to
Right.
try to lie about
You
it.
know
And
it.
I work with kids. I've taught
yeah,
kids.
Right.
yeah,
I've been in that instructor position, and it's not uncommon to have a parent. Usually it's a mom, sometimes a dad, but probably if I had to place a bet, if I was going to put my mortgage on it, it would be on to being a mother, and I probably
Mm-hmm.
win more times than I lose. But
Yeah.
you missing a report. Oh, my child said you said such and such to her. You said such and such to him. Like, ma'am, did your child say what happened before that?
Right.
Well,
yeah,
well,
Right.
my child wouldn't do something like that. That's not my child. Like, man, your
Right.
child has a reputation for doing this. Look,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
you ain't gonna tell about my child. Okay, no matter what, that child is always in the right, never does anything wrong. This child literally was plucked from Jesus' own armpit.
yeah,
The child wasn't born, didn't come through uterus. The
Right.
child came direct from heaven, was
Mm-hmm.
placed in a little blanket, in a little
In a
basket
manger.
like Moses, sent right on down. This child walks on water,
Uh-huh.
pees out Capri Sun.
yeah,
This child is just magic. Doesn't do anything wrong, and everybody knows the child
Never.
in that bullshit. So in fact, those are the kids, usually adults and others, they leave alone because they know I ain't trying to deal with this woman today. And it's
Right.
all well and good when something like this happens. Then it's maybe I should have checked this earlier.
That's insane.
Ugh.
That's
Yeah.
scenario.
Now I'm
God damn.
divorced. Ugh.
Wow.
Now I'm back to the streets.
Back to
Ugh.
struggling. Yeah.
I'm back in this dating pool. Ugh.
Uh-huh. Mm.
Lord, I was fighting to get this man. Now I got to find another. Ooh, Jesus. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, no, they
So
ain't fighting. No,
handle
they ain't
business.
fighting. Bob,
Shout,
they ain't
shout
fighting.
out to the TPA again. Handle your business, or your
Bob.
business will handle you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? But don't you remember the memes in the post from this week? They ain't fighting. They the cream of the crop. They the first pick,
Mhm.
especially if they unattractive and out of shape. But that's a whole other conversation.
I
Yeah.
got to make that. Got to make that James Earl Jones face. Who told you that?
Hey. especially to the big
Who
money
told
folks,
you
right?
that?
Okay. Yeah.
So
My son
I got a
works.
bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so in our community, we have to understand that we got to protect our children. Our children are very key, especially
Right.
going into the next generation. Um, every generation before us, and I've always said this, and I'll keep saying it to my last breath,
Yeah.
which is our grandfather's generation, and we go back before our great grandfather's generation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they sat up and they did what they needed to do to put the following generation in a better predicament, in a better position to be better than them. So every
Absolutely.
generation previous should always set up the next generation after them to be better than them.
Yes, sir.
So it should be that should be the structure. So back in our granddad's generation should be our great granddad should have produced a living good enough for our granddad. Our
Right.
granddad supposed to produce a living for our father. Our
Mm-hmm.
father are supposed to produce a greater living for our children and our children, well, us. And then
Right.
we are supposed to produce a better level for the children in the next generation.
Yes, sir.
So now by doing that, you have to protect these children. Also, these children are great assets when they're very smart. They're getting the information faster than us. They're learning, their capability, their ranges. Everything is just so far advanced with these children. Sometimes we're not as advanced as these children are. So when they do something great, we don't put the money behind them, we don't fund them, and we don't encourage them because a lot of times as parents, we're so stuck in this tunnel vision that if we don't understand it, then it's not something that they should be on. It's not a path they should be on.
Yeah.
And that's far from the worst. Like it's something that you have to understand that your child may be just more gifted than you ever been. It's a combination between two parents. So
Mm-hmm.
the gifted genes that they get from both of the parents is going to be way better than you because you had some genes from your parents.
Right.
But if you know that your parents made you great and then you lined up with somebody great, then guess what? Now you have the greatest gift by this child having two great genes and out here excelling like that.
Real
And
talk.
sometimes we understand we're old school. We try to flow in the line of how society has pushed us and promote us. And we don't try to think outside the box or push us ourselves to a next level. But our children, they're doing that. They want to learn. And anybody knows that deals with children, the early stages of a child is the most important stages for you to basically grow that child into being very knowledgeable and being very brilliant because children they want to receive information. They kind of remind me of Short Circuit. Like Short Circuit was one of my favorite movies, and it was a movie about a robot that came to life. And when he came to life, he got with this woman, um, and she had her little apartment and everything. And she brought him in, and he was always talking about more input, more input. He wanted to learn about the life of humans. So
Right.
she gave him the encyclopedia and he ran through the encyclopedia. And that reminded me of children. When children are young, they're always asking you questions. They always want to read books. They just want to learn more and more and more. And sometimes as adults, sometimes we get caught up into our work. We get caught up into, a lot of things that we got going on and we just feel tired and fed up and we
Mm-hmm.
cut off their growth by learning because we ourselves are just like burnt out. So we're like, yo, you got to wait till I'm on my level to teach you. And sometimes, a lot of these times, a lot of these children, they run to the internet, they run to the YouTubes or whatever, and they'll get the information from somebody else.
Yeah.
So I want to show you these couple of clips and show you how powerful it is when you invest into your child and the geniusness that comes from your children as well. So here's the first clip.
Faut présenter ton appareil.
J'ai fabriqué un ventilateur.
Comment le ventilateur marche? Un ventilateur marche. Un ventilateur qui souffle très très bien. Et mais pourquoi le téléphone en charge? Ça fait quoi?
Ça charge derrière le ventilateur ici. On charge le ventilateur là. Pour remplacer les hélices dans la petite boîte.
Donc allume le ventilateur là, ouais. Et monte bien le téléphone, monte la charge.
All right, so that's the first one. And just to show you what that was a charging station that this young boy, and they're from Haiti, so he's Haitian descent. And it's so gifted. There's a lot of gifted children from the islands, especially from the Caribbean islands, even over in Africa. We always have these gifted children that have a little bit of resources, and they just so incredibly smart, and they just make things from the little bit of resources that they have. And here we are with in a land where we have all the resources, and we couldn't get our children to even do something like that. And that's not a ding on our children. I'm just showing you that there are children out there that are very creative about building and creating things. And as parents, you know, you look at that and you say, dang, you know, I really want him to get into engineering school or, you know, stuff like that. And you can help your child by investing in their craft and their ability of their talents and their passion. He looked like he has a passion for building and creating things.
Yeah.
And you definitely have to enhance that. And I think we drop the ball a lot of times when we don't enhance our children's gifts, and we try to promote them and push them into what we feel that they need to get into instead of understanding what your child is and understanding what your gifts is. But go ahead, what you saying?
No, I was just piggybacking off of that, man. I was so happy to see that, man. That made me feel great, man. I just got back from Haiti not too long ago. I went down there. That was part of our honeymoon, and you know, when you know, I saw some things that I didn't care for. You know, like I said, I kind of look at things in another way. You know what I'm saying? But I think I told you, I went to Labadee. It's an island, the cruise line, they kind of lease out the island or whatever. And, you know, the first few stores that I saw, you know, it had all this cruise line paraphernalia with the cruise line logos and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I don't want none of that. I'm looking for the place where the people are, and where I can find some of the innovative stuff that the brothers and sisters created, like that young man just created there. You know what I'm saying? And I had to kind of go over the hills into the through the woods to get to it. You know, you go to the end of the street, and then you go up these stairs, and then you go down this path, and you finally get to the place where the stuff that the Haitian people actually created, the hand carved stuff, you know, and little things like that they actually create. You know what I'm saying? It was some really fly stuff. And like you said, a lot of them don't really have much to create with, but some beautiful art them brothers and sisters create down there. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you know, I went out of my way to find the place to go. It's funny, the dude saw me. I was in on a trolley, and the dude called me. Out of everybody on the trolley, he called me. I guess because I got these locks. He like, yeah, that brother, he bought something, you know what I'm saying? So me and my lady went back there down the little path, and we copped some of their stuff. But man, you know,
that's dope.
You know, and there were kids out there too, like that kid, you know, that had some of their stuff, you know, that they created, that they were peddling back there. So it was fly, man. I just want to piggyback when we go to these countries, and you know, you got shorties like that. They may not be necessarily as advanced as him, but they got like these hand carvings and all this type of stuff. Refrigerator magnets, keychains, shot glasses. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Let's make sure that we go and find them and patronize them. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the people with the wealth and the power who have all the big stores on the main streets where everybody could see them. And brothers and
Exactly.
sisters back there, we need to find them and we need to patronize them. But yeah,
Exactly.
that was beautiful, man.
Right.
That was beautiful.
And we have this 11-year-old girl
Yeah.
who's from the States.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show you what she done created, right?
Guys, you know what's
Okay.
cool? My 11-year-old is getting ready to buy me dinner tonight. Talk to them, talk to them, talk to them.
So, yeah, today my store did $2,000,
Let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see. Okay.
Yeah.
and then yesterday it did $5,000.
Woo! What about for the month? What about for the month?
For the month, $96,000.
All right.
So you got a little girl who of course her family they're very dope with the e-coms business.
Yeah.
But they got their little girl to get in there, and at 11 years old, she is building her business, and you see the excitement on her face. And that's what people don't understand is that when these children feel good about success, it goes a long way. You know, we have to understand how important that is when it comes to their feelings and comes to their emotions and their confidence.
Yeah.
Right now, she has confidence. Like, yo, I'm 11 years old and I'm making more money than grown-ups. You know, that's
Ridiculous.
confident. Confidence is
In a month.
and the father, and this is why it's so important for fathers, because what he did for his daughter
Yeah.
was he told her, "You taking me out to?" She
That's
was like,
right.
"I'm taking you out to eat."
That's
You know
true.
that's dope for a child to say, "I took my father out to eat."
That's great.
You
And there's no
know,
BS. It ain't like
there's
he
no
gave her $20.
BS,
But
right?
you know, this is
Yeah.
her money. She literally
Exactly.
hustled.
That's
Because at the end of the day, children always want to do things for their parent. They're like, "Mommy,
Yes.
I want to grow up and be a doctor because I want to take care of you and I want to buy you a nice house and you know, they always children, any generation, children always want to do for their parents. They want to reciprocate the energy that their parents pretty much put into them. And just to see that and to hear that, to see the smile, to see the reaction, and the father like, "Oh man, I'm about to order everything off the menu," and
Man,
she's
look.
laughing. You know, she can smile about that.
Perfect.
That interaction was just so powerful to me
Yeah,
because we
that
don't
is.
understand the dynamic powers and the family structure when you building up your children to be successful. It is such a great feeling, and just knowing that if anything was to happen, at least you know your child will be able to survive.
You
You
damn
know,
right.
your child will be out there
Absolutely.
able to feed themselves because you have showed them how to catch fish versus giving them fish. And it's a
Right.
big difference in that,
Damn
you
right.
know?
Oh man. I need to
Oh,
find out what's
perfect.
in the store so I could go and duplicate it. And you know what I'm saying? My God. Woo! 96 racks
One
in a
of
month.
Yeah,
one of my favorite shows to watch. I like shows that give good game, especially our business. One of my
Yeah.
favorite shows to watch, and I don't always go and hunt for it, but like if I'm ever channel surfing or something, or if I was watching something else on and it comes on afterwards, I
Yeah.
usually won't turn the channel from that. Is Shark Tank,
Okay.
and I
mm,
love watching not just the proposals, not just the business ideas, but also listening to not just seeing the products and whatever, but I like hearing the dialogue and the discussion, the questions asked, and
yeah,
hearing all the different insights, all the different things that are taken into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
And one of my action and I one of my favorite pitch ever, and the whole time I y'all talk about the Super Bowl tonight. You couldn't tell me I wasn't watching the Super Bowl. I was so rooting hard for them the whole. I was heavily invested.
Yeah.
yeah,
Was and I can't remember the sister's name, but I think it was the one for Sweet Bees Lemonade. With
Yeah.
this black father came out there
yes,
with his black daughter,
yeah,
and she was just so adorable. I was just like, oh, the whole time. And he was
yeah,
right there, and she was doing most of the talking. She was pitching her product. She had this I think, Sweet Bees Lemonade,
yeah, sweet beef, because
and
I
yeah, she
buy
was.
it out of the store.
Yeah.
When I see it, I make a mental note to buy it every time I do it.
Yeah,
Even
Oh,
if I got
me
if I
too.
just got $3 out of my pocket, that $3 is going
yeah,
right there. I'm confident. But I was just watching the whole pitch, and what struck me the most was the confidence this girl had.
yeah,
And this little child, I don't think she was any much older than about 8 or 9 years old at the time. She could have been 7. But
Mm.
she's here on this stage. You got these lights, these cameras on. You got these multi-millionaires sitting in front of her, trying to convince them to buy her product. And she was speaking so matter of factly. She knew her product, and of course, her dad went through some of the things to talk about with her. But even
Yeah.
still, she was amazing. And
Mm.
Yeah.
I very much appreciated how, even though the Sharks, they still did their due diligence. They asked her the tough questions and everything, but they still did it in a very guiding way.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
they got to ask questions, and you know, all the Sharks for the most part, they were like, they liked what they're hearing. They loved the product, but they didn't feel confident enough about backing the product. And you could see the little girl. You could see that she was kind of getting sad. She was getting down. And I'm like, oh, come on, someone got to look out for the kid, whatever. And
Yeah.
the father came, said his piece, whatever. And then finally, towards the end, Damon came in, pitched an offer. If I remember correctly, it actually didn't work out that way. I think they initially shut him down, and they were walking off. So I think they were initially told, well, sorry, can't do anything for you guys, and they walked off. And you saw him, hugging her, and you could tell her head was kind of down and everything. Then the last second, Damon got up off the chair, dashed over before they left, pitched him an offer. They liked what they heard, they went with it, and the rest is history. She's out here, she got her
Wow.
product in all these stores. But that was so powerful to me that this father and the mother too, she wasn't there, but the mother was also involved as well.
Yeah.
But they were absolutely working to help nurture this talent, this business acumen of this little child.
Yeah.
And all I have to say behind that is, your kids have different talents, your kids have different interests, your kids have different things that their eyes are on.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an abundance of support for our kids for things that we're interested in. So
Yeah.
you're never going to find a football field empty on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to see a basketball gym that's empty because if it's something you like with sports, we understand sports. So we'll throw all our money, we'll throw all our investment behind it. We'll be at all the games and practices.
Right.
And I don't think it's necessarily a malicious thing, but sometimes a lot of us, when we have kids that have these interests, that have these talents in these other areas that we don't know anything about, we tend to not support that, or we tend to kind of, not do too much because we don't know anything.
Exactly.
And for those of you who have children, you have relatives, you have young relatives, little cousins, little nieces and nephews, or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
even grandchildren who have those talents, those gifts, and there's no one that's really pouring around them to that.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and say, well, I'm doing the best I can because I don't know any better. Go
Mm-hmm.
outside yourself. Find somebody. If you have a child that has a mind for business, they're passionate about business and selling things. See, there's somebody in your neighborhood or at work who's a business person, entrepreneur. See if you can get that person to take them under their wing and teach your young relative the things that you don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
it's a crying shame where we have some of these kids who have these ideas, who have these passions, and it's dying in them because they can't get enough nutrients to make it pop out. They don't have the right guidance around them. They don't have the right resources.
Mm-hmm.
Get that child in front of whoever has them. If you ain't the person, that's fine.
Yeah.
Get your
Exactly.
child in front of the person who can make it happen for them.
Yeah.
And be a
Exactly.
part of that. You learn from them as well too, so they're not just getting the game for somebody else, but make sure you get in the game so you can also be a critical part of your child's success.
Mm.
And when your child blossoms and develops, when your child has their own sweet bees lemonade or whatever else it may be,
Right.
that person is going to get the credit for helping your child reach that level of success. But you will too, because you're the person that caught the vision. You couldn't nurture the vision, but
Yeah.
you caught the vision and you did what you could to help take it to the next level. Everybody wins. We all benefit.
That right.
Definitely. Definitely. I do want to show this clip, which is a very powerful clip from a movie. Um, I'm not sure if a lot of people seen the movie, but I know it's a very powerful clip. And it shows that as fathers, especially fathers, I know there's a lot of fathers out there that have children. And what hurts me the most is when, you have children out here and you're not being in their lives. You're not showing up for them like you should be showing up for them. You're not
Mm.
taking up the responsibility that you need to take up. Statistically, when a father is involved with their child on a full-time level, they actually substitute as a two-parent household, which means they're more productive with their child than a single mother. So a father operating with their children is kind of equivalent to raising them in a two-system household, and their children become more productive because a lot of times as the father has a no-nonsense policy, plus they also can be the dictator, and they're very, I mean, not dictator, but they're very hard at as um what do they call them, a not a punisher, but
A
an enforcer,
disciplinarian.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So an enforcer on the rules and putting the foot down and letting you know like the sternness of getting stuff done. And they also have a genuine way to nurture you because a lot of times when the woman is out here trying to do both parts, the child only recognizes the nurturing part because they don't take too much women serious when they are the disciplinary,
Yeah.
right? So when a father comes in and he talks, everybody listens. And I love this because if you're a parent, this is the type of mentality you need to have. And I just want to show you guys this clip, and we could talk about how powerful it is.
Hell, you got to ask me, Mr. Stewicki, the one you got the questions for.
How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you? Who the hell said I got to like you? What law is there say I got to like you? Want to stand up in front of my face and ask a damn fool-ass question like that? Talking about liking somebody. Come here, boy, when I talk to you. Straighten up, goddammit. I asked you a question. What law is there say I got to like you?
None.
All right, then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
Nigga, as long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
Because of you?
Hell, I know it's because of me. But why do you think that is?
Because you like me?
Like you. I go out of here every morning. I bust my butt putting up with them crackers every day because I like you. You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Not because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. Now, let's get this straight right here and now before I go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand don't give me my money come payday because he like me. He give it to me because he owe me. Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life. Me and your mama worked that out between us, and liking your black ass wasn't part of the bargain. Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. So
Shout
Listen,
out to the OG, to the elder Denzel Washington.
Denny
yeah,
Z.
And I
Yo.
apologize. If he ever sees this, I apologize, sir. I have yet to see that movie. It's been on my hit list for a minute.
You ain't
I'm gonna
seen this
repent.
movie?
I'm gonna get right this weekend. I promise, sir.
My
I'm gonna
God.
honor
Yeah.
you in your performance.
Listen,
Uncle Benny gonna get me, yo.
Denny Z. Let me tell you something, man. When I was in acting school for 2 years, and we all kind of had to pick an actor that we had to study. And the actor I had to
that's
study
your.
was
Hold on, that's your feedback from your mic, or I'm hearing a
um,
feedback. You guys
is
hearing
that
it?
me?
Hold on, let me see. No, that's not you, Major.
Mic check, mic check. I don't know what that
That's
is. I thought that
oh,
was
that's
one of
Bobby. That's Bobby's mic.
Okay.
That's me.
That's you,
That's
Bobby.
you. That's you, Diddy.
Yeah.
My sir probably doing Emily. Hold on, let me
Oh
transition. Hold on.
yeah. That's- yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you
I think
did.
you good now, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the actor that I chose to study
We
was.
can't hear you. We
You can't
can't
hear
hear
me
you.
now. Mic check, mic
No,
check. Can you hear
we
me?
can't hear Bob. We can't hear
Oh,
Bobby. Speak, Bobby.
Bob, can you hear us? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, bro.
Go
You
ahead.
might
Yeah, go ahead.
disconnect
He'll
and
catch on.
reconnect. But yeah, the actor that I studied was Denzel. You know what I'm saying? And bruh, the wealth of things that I learned from studying this man. Denzel Washington is not just an actor, bro. Like this
Yeah.
dude is a paragon. Like this, my God. I learned so much, and I mean, to this day, I still learn something about this guy every time I look him up. Like, just the type of stuff that he does for the community, the type of things that he's done, bringing up other actors. He was instrumental in bringing Omari Hardwick into the game, bringing Chad Boseman into the game. I mean, this guy. I mean, you just can't say enough about the type of things he's done. There was some dude they were harassing on the side of the street. The police were harassing. Denzel pulled over and like he alleviated that whole situation. I don't know if you caught that. It was about a year, maybe a little more ago. I mean, this dude is always doing phenomenal things, and he doesn't just lend himself to any role for the sake of having a role.
Exactly.
So that's what I like the most about him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? This
Yes.
type of role is absolutely the type of thing that Denzel Washington would do because he's just that thorough of a dude. You know what I'm saying? He wants to make sure that he has a message in everything that he does that is positive that people can take with them. And what we do, whereas we're promoting progressive manhood and teaching manhood in some instances, it only makes sense that Denzel Washington will be the one to provide that type of clip, something that powerful, you know what I'm saying, that really drives that point home. Young men can't be out here all emotional and and sensitive, and you know what I'm saying, and this, that, and the third. That's not, we too worried about who likes them. You know what I'm saying? Especially young black men. You can't be concerned about who like you. It don't matter. You do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that was, Tariq Nasheed says something like that, all the time when he talks about being fearless. Jason Black, the same thing when he talks about having to be the smartest man in the room and so forth. That was a powerful, powerful scene. And I love the fact that it's the young man and the OG. You know what I'm saying? There are no women in the room, nobody to coddle him, nobody don't talk to poor baby like that. No.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up in your face, I'm gonna smack you on the chest a little bit, I'm gonna put some bass in my voice, and I'm gonna let your ass know what it is. Because that's what you need in order to be successful out here. You can't be worried about who like you. Even when I apply for jobs, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you want to be likable. You want to be, you know, you want to be personable. That helps. But the most important thing is that you are competent. You know what I'm saying? And that you're coming across as competent and that your skill set matches whatever it is that the job is looking for. Not necessarily that they like you. I've been a hiring manager before. I've hired people that I couldn't stand because I knew they would know how to do the goddamn job. And as men, that is so important. I'm so glad that you chose that clip, brother, because a lot of brothers out there need to see that. A lot of these cats out here got this moist energy where they're worried about if somebody want to be a friend or not or some bullshit like that. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. That's that killer instinct that you put in them jits. You know what I'm saying? When you talk to them like that, you get in their chest, you make them feel you. Yeah, they're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all right.
Yeah. Definitely.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
As men, as black men in particular, one of the most dangerous things, one of the most, I wouldn't necessarily say dangerous, but one of the most harmful things we can do is get caught up behind the whole like foolishness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of all the things that's on your checklist as a person, as a man, being liked should be as close to the bottom as possible.
Real talk.
There's a 1,001 things that matter more than being liked. Um, I would rather be respected first and foremost before anything else. You don't got to like me as long as you respect me. We cool.
Right.
Like Uncle Denny said, do right by me, appreciate me. If you're the one in my life, love me. You know, have integrity with me, honor your word with me, value me.
Yeah.
There's so many things that matter more than like. Like is about as meaningful as the wind, and it changes just as quick. They like you today, they dislike you tomorrow.
Real talk.
But those other things, those things don't change. And too often we have, and it starts young. We have our men chasing likes. They chase being liked. I want people to like me. Why doesn't such and such like me? Nobody likes me. Who the hell cares? I don't give a damn about liking you.
Real talk.
That don't mean a
Why
like. Don't
do
mean
we
nothing.
care? Right.
Yeah.
A soggy piece of one ply pre-owned toilet paper has more value and more worth for your life than a like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing. The question is, are people gonna do what they say that they will do when it comes to you? Are they gonna handle business with you? Can they break bread with you properly?
Right.
That's something that a lot of people mess up with. That's a huge thing that messes up people in business too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people talk about, I can't go into business with somebody that I don't like.
True.
And most of those cases, those situations, they fall out. The thing falls apart because you like them, but because you like them and they like you, that doesn't mean that you're best for doing business with them. You need someone that's about business, that knows what they're doing, that's competent, like you said, and you can rely on. As long as we can do that, I ain't got to like you. I don't have to eat dinner with you for non-business purposes, whatever. I don't got to go and hug your kids and say hi to your wife. I ain't got to do none of that foolishness.
Right.
Can I get paper with you and know I'm not going to get a knife in my back for my efforts?
Right.
Exactly.
That's all.
That's it.
I don't have to like my boss or my supervisor. If I come into work and hand my responsibilities, are you going to make sure that my check clears and I never got to come to you about why my bank account looking a little funny this Friday?
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
And vice versa. Like you said, you don't got to like your employee. Does the employee come in and handle business? You don't got to be, checking up on them every 5 minutes to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
That's it.
Can we get things done and accomplished?
Yeah.
The black man that can master this concept, that can drill that down, is going to be powerful. There's going to be very few obstacles in his path, and whatever ones pop up, he's going to be able to get over, under, around, or through it with little to no muscle fuss.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. The fact that, and I tell people all the time, racists will engage with us, right? Us brothers, because we're thorough.
Is that Is that your mic with the echo?
No, that's Bobby's mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, racists will engage in us, right? And they'll sit back and they'll do business with us.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll do business with us because they understand we get stuff done. They ain't gonna like us. We pro-black, they pro-white. They ain't gonna like us, but they can do business with us. They respect us.
Yeah.
See, what I notice about people from the dominant society is they don't like person to kiss butt. They like somebody that tells you how it is and tells it to your face. They don't like people who don't speak the truth to power.
Right.
They'll sit back and they'll use people that want to kiss their butt, but they will come to us and sit down with us and get stuff done. And they know that in that part of it, that they're going to achieve what they need to achieve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, like, yo, go out there and be you. Don't settle for nothing less. Don't do anything else that's outside of what your comfort zone, because you're gonna fumble it up. Just go in there and be you. When you be you, trust me, they're gonna like you for who you are. And like I said, that segues into this picture that I'm about to post up. And we talked about him earlier, right? So Adidas finally admits dropping Kanye West may have cost them 1.3 billion in sales, and they had an article that said that they were setting up to possibly want to work back with Kanye and try to work his brand back into the Adidas brand. So when you level up, you know your worth. You can tell people what it is. They don't agree with you. They lose money. When these people get in business with you and start to lose money,
Yeah.
yo, it's yo, they don't care about your viewpoints. They want money. So even when Kanye said whatever he said, and they took it to heart and they tried to stick it to him, but Kanye sticked it to him in the long run.
Yeah.
Now they want to reconsider, even after knowing what he said, they want to reconsider because at the end of the day, these people want money. It's all about money. Money talks, BS walks. We already know that slogan. So I find that funny that they want to counter back and retract a lot of their statements and want to work back with Kanye now, knowing that they needed him from the get-go, but they needed to see that once the finances dropped, how valuable he was to their company and their brand.
Yeah.
And now that they see that, they're begging silently, publicly, for him to come back. They're shooting out dog whistles for emergency calls to come back so they could gain that money back. And I thought, to me, that was very powerful seeing that recently. And I also wanted to show you guys this because when that went down, this also went down, right? So Kyrie Irving, agent and managers have met with designer and owner of a black-owned shoe company called Psy Collective, discussing a potential partnership after Irving's departure from Nike's shoe deal. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know who Psy Collective, I follow Psy Collective and I love Psy Collective. I pretty much try to purchase and patronize anybody black. I have a watch that is from Tally and Twine. It's a black-owned company that produces watches, and their watches is on point. Their watches range from $240 and up, and $199 and up. And when I tell you these brothers make some great watches, I love my Tally and Twine watch. Whenever I go out, people always ask me what kind of watch it is. And I took a Photoshop of Sai's collection because I do want to get some of Sai's shoes. His shoes are dope. And for him to pull this partnership off because of the whole debacle that happened that started with Kanye and then went over to Kyrie when he posted it, and they tried to blackball both of them. And in the process, Kyrie said, you know what, I'm going to line up with your shoe company as a black business. And they sparked something. That was leveling up. They leveled up with Psy Collective and got onto a level right now that is just superb, yo. And I love it. And I'm looking forward to that mass production. And now his shoes, Psy's shoes are like, I think normally $250 a piece. And yeah, they're pretty pricey, but because they're pricey because of the production level, right? So whenever you can't produce on mass levels like that, your price of production is going to be higher for, the labor and the shipping coming from another country and everything like that. Nike is able to give you those prices because Nike is set up all over and they buy 10,000, 100,000 shoes, so their cost drops. So by him getting that deal and inking that deal, now his shoes should drop even lower with price because now he's on a mass level to do mass production. And I thought that was leveling up to the utmost. And I just wanted to entwine the two to show you that it goes back to the program that we're talking about, leveling up. And that was a master level up, basically capitalizing off of something and making it into your favor and taking advantage of the opportunity that now has made him he has placed him into a space that he never would have been in before. And I remember when he inked that deal, he had a video, like I think 2 weeks later, that he bought his mom a vehicle, right? or in a house or something like that, and it was like, damn, that's leveling up. That's
Yeah.
that's like some real level, super level joint right there. And I was so
Mm.
excited for him because we need to invest in more black businesses, and we need to do more partnership with black businesses. And I would love to see more athletes do stuff with people in different apparel spaces or different spaces, period,
Real
which will
talk.
elevate the black space and the black community along as well. But
That's
I thought
great.
that was very powerful. So you
Yes.
guys can definitely chime in on that as well.
No, it was. I mean, damn. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff we like to see. We need to do more of that. I mean, for me, I feel like from jump, as Sway would say, you know what I'm saying, bro, why don't you just go at it, with your own brand from jump? Sway tried to tell him that, and he told Sway he didn't have all the answers, and I've been doing this more than you, and Sway turned out to be absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
Kyrie's finding that out as well. And I
yeah,
hope that, it's a snowball effect and it influences other brothers and sisters, not only to just have a come to Jesus moment when, they say they don't want to fuck with you no more. But hey, when I decide to do it initially, I'm gonna go and holler at a brother. We got all the swag and style anyway. You know what I'm saying? You see how Nikes used to look back in the day, as opposed to when they
yeah,
started bringing in black designers to design the shoes now. You see they look
yeah,
totally different than they looked, let's say, 10, 15 years ago. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? They're starting to become urbanized or whatever the case may be. Okay, well, just cut
yeah.
out the middleman and just go to the brother to begin with. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? The problem with our dollar is that our dollar don't bounce around in our community like other people's dollars bounce around
Hmm.
their community. So we need to do that, as a means of survival, as a means of solidifying an economic base so that we can be self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? And just as a part of being on code, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everybody else does this but us. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? For us, the white man's ice is colder. It's plenty
yeah,
black designers out here that got leather and shoestrings and rubber. And, they got all the ingredients and they got nice stuff. And we could probably get it mass produced a whole lot cheaper if we go through the black designers anyway. Because
yeah,
Nike going to give you a haircut when they, you know what I'm saying? They going to give you whatever little money, but, they still making the overwhelming bulk of the money. You understand what
yeah,
I'm talking about? You go through the black designer, you're going to make more money, you're going to create more black businesses, and you're going to help create this self-sufficient financial block that we need so desperately to fight racism, white supremacy, and just to sustain our community, generally speaking. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. Shout out to that. And you can have your problems with Ye, like I do.
yeah,
I have problems with some of the stuff that he's done, but I mean, if that all that aside, again, we ain't worried about who like us and who don't like us. Just talking about the business aspect of it. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? If he can get back in there and get that money and still still do business with them, it's not like they give a damn anyway that he said all this stuff about the Jews. Adidas
mhm,
and Puma, they were started by Nazis to begin with. So I mean, that's a
mhm,
whole other conversation. But you know what I'm saying? This is a chance for him to do business. I hope he doesn't shoot himself in the foot and mess that up. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? Because I really want the brother to win, which is
Yeah,
why I had problems with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like he was
mhm,
doing a lot of stuff where he was just setting himself up for failure. But
mhm.
that if hopefully those brothers can pull those things off and have good sound business practices in place where they can thrive and they can encourage others to come in and do what they're doing and thrive,
Yeah,
and we can do this. That's a beautiful thing.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Bobby, you want to jump in on that?
for sure. You know, when they can't kill you, they just don't know what to do with you. It's just the part they can't fix, they can't solve. One of the things that, and on Kanye's part, it was less about him. His was a bit more passive, but Kyrie's moves were a little bit more active.
Mm,
And what I will say is, while It does. While it is a shame that Kyrie initially didn't go ahead and make moves to go ahead and align himself with a black company in the beginning, what I really love and respect about Kyrie, and I'm not gonna lie, I've become more of a Kyrie supportive fan since this has happened. I'm going back to the whole idea of not being worried about people liking you, whatever. What I admire and like and would love to see more brothers really copy and take from Kyrie's example is, as my mother would say, not allowing someone, not giving somebody the opportunity to tell you to kiss their ass twice. So somebody tells you to kiss their ass the first time, okay, touche, got you. Don't put yourself in a position where now they can come and tell you that again because you still there trying to get all goody goody with them. They kick your ass the first time, okay, I'm gone. And when I'm gone, I stay gone. So he didn't start from the outset with a black company, that's cool, but Nike said, well, we gonna terminate you for this. He said, hey, fine, I'm not coming back. I'm gonna link up with somebody else. And it's gonna be one of my people this time.
I
So
love
now you didn't just fumble the bag for yourself, Nike. You fumbled it for Adidas. You fumbled it for Under Armour. You fumbled it for Converse. You fumbled it for all the other joints, whatever. And now we're ultimately going to be the beneficiaries and the winners as a result of it. And that's how it should be. You know, and again, it shouldn't take getting your ass handed to you to make the sound decision, the smart decision. But sometimes it is what it is. You know, we're not in a perfect world. People mess up. Players mess up too. But the important thing is once you make the mistake or once it happens, you learn from it and you do differently. So shout out to Kyrie for having the courage and for having the boldness and for having the principle to stand on that and realize, you know what, I'm not gonna let you break me. You ain't gonna bend me over on the barrel, so to speak, and have your way with me. If anything, you can kiss my ass.
There you go.
I'm gonna tell you where you can go stuff it. Ain't no apology gonna do it because you weren't apologetic about how you handled me. There was no kid gloves about how you want to deal with me and address me. So, as far as I'm concerned, ain't no coming back from that. So hopefully he stays the course and sticks with it, and I hope that partnership is going to be very profitable. And personally, I can't wait to go ahead and cop me a pair of Kyries when they come out. And
you already know.
Check mark Kyries with some Psy Kyries. My feet's gonna look extra luxurious and extra gorgeous. I can't wait for it.
There you go. There you go.
So I want to show you guys two pictures before I get into our queen check of the night. All right.
Yeah.
So did you guys see this at
God, yes.
the Super Bowl? Did you see this one?
No, I didn't see that one. I thought he just had on a suit. I didn't realize he had on a blouse underneath. Jesus Christ.
Yes. So this is Juju from Kansas City, and this is Fletcher Cox from Philadelphia.
Wow.
And so tonight we want to honor our queen check for tonight, who is an amazing woman that I am honored to basically crown check tonight. And I know that Major and Bobby is going to love this recipient of crown check tonight.
Bring her through.
And the reason why I brought up those two individuals because our queen of the night is no other than
Dr. Francis Cresswell. I knew it. Once you showed them pictures, I knew it. I knew
it. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, scholar, born in March 1935, and his sister passed away 7 years ago, January 2nd, 2016. She is a scholar, top notch. She went to, she got a BS degree out of Antioch University, and then she went and got her MD out of Howard University. Right. And this lady is so phenomenal, been doing great work throughout her years, trying to help to readjust and relearn and show our people the proper way to observe how societies ran and the system that we're ran under, which she always talk about white supremacy, systematical racism. She teamed up with a powerful guy by the name of, and Bobby,
Neely
you know
Fuller.
who that man is, right?
Mhm.
So let the
Brother,
people know who
our
that man is.
esteemed elder Neely Fuller Jr.,
The
aka
real deal.
the founder and the creator of the compensatory
Yep.
concept, compensatory
Exactly.
code. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So Dr. Wilson, collaboration with Neely Fuller Jr. brought issues of racism and white supremacy into the forefront of our consciousness, and she's been doing a phenomenal job in the process.
Mhm.
Showing people how to observe systematical racism and everything about it, and it's just the ins and outs of how we're supposed to look at it in order for us to get out of the situation that we need to get out of. There are
Mhm.
plenty of gems and blueprints for us to succeed. Well, we're not doing it on a major level, but hopefully, we'll get the mindset and to get the people getting there to go to do so. And even with this program, we wanted to highlight her so people could do their due diligence and research on her. And this is a picture of so many scholars in there. You see Dr. Claude Anderson in the back. You have Dr.
Gregory.
Umar.
Umar,
You
yeah.
have you got Dick Gregory. You have Tony Browder, who has a
Mhm.
uh, fabulous book. I want to show you guys that Tony Browder right here is in my archive too. I talked about him. Survival Strategies, phenomenal book. He gets it in with the youth and the children and tries to get their mind and process on a powerful level. And it
Mhm.
just goes to show you that how powerful of individuals that you surround yourself with. You
Mhm.
see Dr. Ben out there in the corner. You also see so many different scholars in
Dr.
between, man.
Clark.
Like this,
Shout out to the
yeah,
master teacher, the intellectual juggernaut himself, Dr. John Henry
John
Clark.
Henry Clark.
exactly.
Woo!
Lord, that's a hell of
Heavyweight
a
in that picture.
stage, boy. Woo.
Yes, yes, master teachers and so powerful for our community. And it's just crazy that a lot of us out here don't know who Dr. Francis Cress Welsing is, and it's a shame that people don't know who Dr. Francis Cress Welsing is. But I
Mhm.
do want to talk about, I want to show a couple videos of her so you guys can get familiar with who Dr. Francis Cress Williams is, and she is a very powerful queen. Uh, Glad to have her during our lifetime, and I was glad to be able and alive to witness and hear a lot of the great gems that she did provide. And so this is going to be talking about. That's why I showed you guys the picture of the men in dresses because she talked about that in this
Fuller,
clip
who
right here.
wrote the textbook for victims of racism a number of years ago, in the late mid 70s, he used to say in the system, because he was the first person to talk about racism as a system, and he said that as the system of racism, white supremacy moves on, the system is going to have black men wearing dresses. Now, to hear that in the 70s, people said, oh, this is way out. And here we are. You see, there's some black pediatricians who are saying we are developing epidemic levels of the effeminization of young black males. I say the pants sagging down is just a subconscious invitation for homosexuality. You see, it's revealing the buttocks. See, so the pants are getting lower and lower and lower. The next step is to step out of the pants altogether. And so you step out of the pants, you're going to put on a dress. The effeminization is an essential ingredient of white genetic survival. And the only thing that can prevent it is black people becoming conscious or becoming determined that this is not going to happen to them, because if the black men are destroyed, then the black people are gone, and we have a state of genocide.
Mm, very powerful. I want to show another one that she. gets into.
doesn't come out of our brain computer. It didn't have to. So the big brown balls mean the genetically dominant balls. And they are brown. And what are they? Football. Basketball. Basketball. Bowling ball. Earth ball. Small white marbles. Ping pong. Baseball. Tennis balls. Tennis. But do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, to me, this is just fantastic. This is coming out of a system that is worried about white genetic survival, and by their thinking of the white ball as small and producing small white balls means they, at a subconscious level, are aware of their genetic vulnerability. Are you following me? Yes. See, and this is being played out. These ball games are going on all the time, 24/7. So it doesn't matter whether you are picking it up consciously or subconsciously. It is still getting the message across. So beyond that, in the game of, well, first of all, what do white females say about their ideal mate? Not tall, blonde, right? Tall, dark, and handsome. And so, in the football, this big brown ball goes into some white upright legs at the end of the field. Are you all with me? The basketball goes into a white net. Are you all with me? Is this an adult class? And it's white girls in short dresses dancing on the side. And a black girl can hardly get on the squad. Is that correct? Now, a white man said to me, Dr. Wilson, do you know what white men say? I said, no, I don't. He said, white men say they're not men. Until when? Until they have had sexual intercourse with a black woman. See, there's a lot of young people in here. See, this is the underpinning in the culture. This is what the culture is really thinking about all the time. The people who are thinking. So the most powerful men play what ball game? Now, our president just got hurt playing basketball. You see, but what's the game that the white presidents play? Now, how is that game played? I didn't demonstrate. Long stick held between legs. Trying to get the little white ball in a hole in Black Mother Earth. And if this is a real, are there any little children? I see a couple. I was dressed as grown up. The golf course is laid out, and it always has water holes. It has rough. It has sand trap. And then it has a hole that it's supposed to go in. Now, anybody studying anatomy, and female anatomy, will understand. This is pubic hair. See, the ball happens to go in the rough. Or the ball can go in the water. See, the female genitalia, you have the vaginal opening, you have the urethra where the urine comes out, and you have the anus, and that's the sand trap. Are you all with me? Yes. I don't want to ruin anybody. We have got to understand racism and white supremacy. We have got to understand that while we're playing, they're staying on the case 24/7. And that's how a minority can control a majority on the planet. See, by words, by symbols. What about the game of, excuse me. What about the game of village or pool? Green field, long stick, triangle, whole lot of colored balls. See, the triangle is the female vaginal orifice. Take the triangle off, and what's the game about? The white, long stick white ball knocks all the colored balls under the table. And what ball is left on top of the table? The white ball. The black ball is the last ball to go in. We're doing too much partying and eating and not observing. The black ball is the last to be knocked in. And the expression is what? President Obama, you don't want to be caught where? Behind the 8 ball. See, if you're behind the 8 ball, that means that the black man is in power.
Wow.
Damn.
That sister was way before her time.
Way before her time.
Way before. I found out about Dr. Wilson in the 90s. My grandmother used to, oh my God, this woman used to terrorize me with Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. And I'm so glad she did. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, Dr. John Henrik Clark. I used to see these people when I was a kid. Del Jones, I don't know if you know who he is. Asa Hilliard. What's the other guy? Dr. Ben. Like, yo, every day, every time I went to my grandmother's, and it's like, yeah, I would listen to him. I like to listen to him, but like my grandmother would want me to do nothing but listen to him. Like, yes, okay, sure, I'm gonna listen to him or whatever. But like that, what she just said right there, again, so far ahead of her time. Because I always listened to my grandmother. I absolutely adored my grandmother. I go over to her crib on a night like tonight after the Super Bowl and just hang out there till like 2-3 in the morning just talking. And my grandmother, she was not like anybody else's grandmother. She would tell me about like the new Bone Thugs and Harmony song and all this other stuff that was going on. Like she was just very young, right? Yeah. But at the same time, very old. You know what I mean? And she put me on a Dr. Wilson, and I always believed what Dr. Wilson was saying. As I was young, I was like in my late teens, early 20s, right at the time, when I first started listening to Dr. Wilson. And but some things I just thought was a little too outlandish. I'm like, what? They're gonna have black men running around in dresses. I believe Dr. Wilson. She's brilliant. I read the ISIS papers front to back a few times. I have a copy here.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I thought that was just still far-fetched. No way black men gonna be running around here in dresses. What you talking about? This lady, she's a little extreme. Yeah. And now every time you turn around, you got, some moist dude running around, you know what I'm saying, trying to get his voice higher, so he could attract some big sweaty men. So, it just it's crazy to see everything. This woman, 70s and 80s is when this lady came to prominence. And in her book, she's telling you everything that's happening today. You read her book, she's telling you, her and Neely Fuller, everything that's happening today, they told us 40 years ago this shit was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff was written even before I was born. You know what I'm saying? And these rappers who's supposed to be the toughest, most gangster, most masculine dudes out here, football players, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be the gladiators, but you out here wearing skirts, you know what I'm saying, and dresses. And it's like, damn, how the hell? How did they know this? You know what I mean? But when you understand, it's like they said in Baby Boy, the system of racism, white supremacy works to put the black man in an infantile like position. You know what I'm saying? So you have three choices. Like, I think they said you have three choices. You can either be an infant, you can be what's the other one? I forget. It's something else, and you can be a woman, but you cannot be a man. I forget what the second one was. You can be an infant.
I think it was a nigga.
You could be it's just kind of like a thug, a nigga, basically, or you could be a woman, but you cannot be an
Is infant, boy, or woman?
Infant, boy, or woman. Okay, yeah. So basically, that's unfortunately what a lot of these cats are, man. Like when you see them, engaging in that type of bizarre behavior, that's a form of surrender. You know what I'm saying? Those guys have chosen, to be women. You know what I'm saying? Because the system has made it too unbearable for them to be men in their mind. You know what I'm saying? That's surrender. That's submission. They've given up, on manhood basically. And it's a sad, sad thing. But more and more of us are starting to, go in that direction. I had a very good friend some time ago, that basically denounced black manhood. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even on a sexuality thing. Like I don't think he was gay, but he was just so afraid to be a masculine black male. And he started, taking the white supremacist talking points, saying that, blaming all the ills of black society on black men. I had to distance myself from this. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I actually saw it happen before my own eyes, and a lot of people out here, those of us that are really on the grassroots and really in the struggle, we talk about how the boule and, how academia has just failed us as a people, and right around the time that he got his PhD is when he went full-blown coon and started talking that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really, it really hits home. It hits close to home because that guy was like a brother to me. I never knew he was like that. You know what I'm saying? And then he, started talking about how, we used to have hip hop in common. He started talking about how I would listen to hip hop because I liked it. I thought it was creative. I thought it was dope. He listened to hip hop because he didn't have a father figure and he was trying to figure out how to be a man through listening to hip hop dudes. And I'm like, whoa, I found out so much crazy psychological stuff behind, why he did some of the things that he did. And it's like, whoa. And he ended up being one of those guys. He told me finally, I used to put on my mother's dresses and makeup and all this stuff as a kid, which I never knew. You know what I'm saying? And it's inconsequential to who I am as a man. And, blah, blah, blah. I got my PhD now and I got a fancy education. It's like, whoa. Wait. You know, so you're telling me that you couldn't get your PhD in a fancy education without wearing your jewelry and clothes and heels and makeup, whatever. That's what you're saying? And he's like, well, he'd rather have, he said this to me. He said that this is the deepest thing I've ever heard. I think it kind of correlates with what Dr. Wilson said. He said, I'd rather have my son be gay than to get shot. And I was like, man, you are fucked up, dude. If you think that the only two options for a black man in this world are to be gay or get shot, as if being gay is going to protect you from getting shot. I mean, what is he talking about? It was insane. You know what I'm saying? I just never understood it. And then I thought back to what Dr. Wilson was saying. What she's basically saying is that you got a lot of black men out here that are afraid to be men, to be masculine black men. And, you know, the racist white media, they love to, you know, uphold and encourage and promote the effeminized black man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying gay. I'm just saying effeminized, because at the end of the day, I know a dude back in he used to go to school with us back in the days, very effeminate dude, but he had a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is the image, because they feel like it's the non-threatening, you know, docile, controllable male. You know, and so he was buying into that basically. You know, if I'm non-threatening and I'm docile and I'm more feminine, then I'll be accepted by white folks and I'll be exalted. And I'm like, man, I don't get how that correlates with acceptance, because white people that are racist, if you're worried about the system of racism and white supremacy coming for you, they're just the gay ones are just as racist as the straight ones. You understand what I'm saying? And they're not going to treat you your gayness or your perceived effeminate, you know, posture is not going to protect you. You understand what I'm saying? They gonna bang on you the same way they bang on everybody else. They don't stop and ask if you're straight or gay or trans or whatever before they shoot your ass if you're a Negro in a car and they feel like they having a bad day and they want to kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just this warped thinking that has a lot of black folks feeling like they're protected if they hide. A lot of black males specifically, it feels like they're protected if they hide behind this effeminate imagery. Joe Budden said something like this. You remember? He was saying they were talking about something on his podcast. Somebody, they weren't messing with them or they were protected because they're gay. And he said, well, hell, I'm gay then. You know what I'm saying? And people, you remember that? Yeah. It's a lot of black folks out here that feel that way. Like they can't be black, especially if you're a masculine male. You can't be that because the system of white supremacy is going to come down on you as though you're still not a black person. I mean, racism is racism. And that shit was crazy to me. But that's exactly what she's saying, and she's spot on. A lot of us feel that way.
Definitely.
And you know, it's funny that was brought up because I did see something today, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep my eye out on it. I hope it doesn't get any worse than this, but I did have my feelings hurt a little bit. I was a little crushed because it involved my spirit animal.
Okay.
And when I saw it hurt, I was like, no, nigga, no, nigga, no, I need you. Don't do this to me, bro. Don't do this. It's you and me. But my beloved spirit animal, brother Idris Elba. Idris, if you can hear me, turn from your ways, brother. It's not too late, please.
Whoa.
But he had made a tweet, and I forgot. I meant to save it. I didn't see it, but basically, he made a statement saying that he no longer describes himself as a black actor because he is more than just his skin. And he said a little bit more, talking about how, he feels that too often when you identify yourself as a black actor or black actress, you get typecasted or whatever, and they put you in a box or what have you, and it kind of hinders your career. And he's saying all that. However, and shout out to our brother John Boyega,
Yeah.
another brother from across the pond.
Mm.
He'd put out a tweet of his own, and he countered that, and he said, and I give him big props to that. He said, "I think we should fixate on who is typecasting and putting actors in boxes because of this,
You damn
not on
right.
making weird adjustments for them. We
Right.
continuously focus on what we have to do so they don't do this or that. Very worrying. We black, and that's that." So the
Real
whole
talk.
idea of dialing yourself down and dimming yourself down because it's a liability.
Right.
No,
That's
that's
bullshit.
not the thing to do about it. If you recognize that this is wrong, that's good.
Mm.
But the remedy, the fix, the direction to go, and isn't to, well, let's get away from that. No. If anything, is to lean into that and
Right.
address the people who are making this an issue.
That's
I
real.
recently, and not for this reason, but I've recently gotten into a habit of when after classes or when my training partners and I separate, and I also said to a lot of brothers now, I'm really starting to really pick up a deeper significance to this, and this is helping to reinforce that.
Yeah.
I make it a point where usually I would, anytime I'm leaving or we're all departing from a place, I'll say, all right, guys, all right, catch you next time, much love. If that's like close, like that's like my brothers, like close family, like I love y'all or whatever.
Yeah.
I say, stay safe. I've gotten away from saying stay safe now because I realize that that staying safe leads, or trying to be so overly safe leads to warped mindsets like this. And clearly, because there's no billboard out there that's saying do these things, so this is what's being picked up in the society and the messaging and the programming out there. And clearly it's a very effective message, because otherwise, how are all these different people from different walks of life? Idris isn't even American. He's not even a foundational Black American. He's not from over here. He's from England.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's picking up on these cues. So this is a global thing. This isn't just a United States of American issue. This is a global issue where Black people are feeling these cues and pressures or whatever. So I've gotten away from telling us, especially us Black men, stay safe. And now I say, stay dangerous.
There you go.
Remain the thing that keeps them afraid. And they're not afraid of you because you're a bad person or you're evil. They're not afraid of you because you're wicked or because you have bad intentions. No. They're afraid of you. They see you as dangerous because you're a strong, heterosexual, masculine man. You pose a threat. They see you as a leader, as someone that will take us into the future as opposed to hold us back. They want the opposite of that. So you know what? Stay dangerous. Stay that threat. Be that thing that keeps them awake at night, chomping on their fingernails and sweating bullets. Be that thing that gives them heart palpitations. Stay dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I rock with that. I can't believe Idris said something like that, bro. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Man,
I pulled up the tweet.
You couldn't
It
tell me
says,
someone didn't punch me in the stomach. It felt the same damn way.
yeah, he said
I
there
heard
isn't a
it, brother.
soul on earth. There isn't a soul on earth that can question whether I consider myself a Black man or not. Being an actor is a profession, like being an architect. They are not defined by race. However, if you define your work by your race, then that's your prerogative. That's his tweet.
I ain't rocking with that shit at all, bro. Like real
Yeah.
talk, man. We need, like Bobby said, we need to lean into that. And look, people will try to take this and twist it. So I want to make sure I put this out there. This is not taking any shots at anybody for their sexuality or how they are. If you're gay, that's your business. We have some brothers and sisters that were riders that were gay, like James Baldwin. James Baldwin was a rider. You know what I'm saying? He just happened to be gay. You know what I'm saying? So this doesn't, we're not going to get into someone's sexuality or whatever the case may be. That's not the issue. And I know there's some low energy brain people who will take this and run with it and try to say that, because of what I said before. And even to bring Bobby's point in talking about Idris Elba, he didn't say anything about sexuality. It's the simple fact of feeling like you have to hide behind something else. You know what I'm saying? Or disassociate yourself from who you are as a straight Black male in order to have any type of viability in the industry. You can't be proud of being a straight black male and have your chest out, and be okay and secure in your own space and your own skin. That's the problem. That's the problem that I'm talking about for some of the knuckleheads out there that might want to take that and try to twist it. You know what I'm saying? We should, the same way that the gay black people, or the black people that are mixed with some other nationality, the mulattoes, whatever the case may be, whoever it is that you are, as a black person, you shouldn't have to hide behind, you shouldn't have to say, well, or go behind, oh, I'm a light-skinned Negro, so I should be accepted. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm a trans Negro, so I should be accepted. No, you should be able to be comfortable in your own skin. As a straight heterosexual black man, I am noticing, that there are a lot of different types of media and so forth that are targeting us, as though there's something wrong with us being who we are. And a lot of us are buying into that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That, like Bobby just said about Idris, and kind of dialing back, referring to himself as what he is. That's insanity. You know what I'm saying? If we lose that, then what are we? You know what I'm saying? That's unacceptable. We gotta push back against that type of shit with everything we got.
Definitely. You
Idris,
gotta
call me,
watch
brother.
yourself
We
with.
gonna talk. We gonna work this out, brother. We gonna pray this out. I believe in you, brother. Let's make this happen.
Yeah,
Real talk, because that was one of the real ones. Damn.
yeah. You gotta watch yourself with a lot of these Caribbeans and these British people, um, foreigners that come out because they get more programmed and brainwashed into ideology that goes against that goes with anti-blackness.
True.
Not wanting to embrace something as great as your melanin. Your melanin is great. Our melanin allows us to have more minerals in our body than any other race of people. I think the average race of I think the average race carries 98 minerals in their body, and I believe melanin people with melanin carry 119. Melanin itself brings extra elements because even when you talk about the sun and you're out sunbathing, just by you sunbathing as a black person, um, you end up getting more nutrients in your body from the sun. Vitamin D, that's where the vitamin D comes in. Um, from the sun transform through your melanin and creates vitamin D for your body. So a lot of times you notice that even when you're lactose intolerant, you can go out there and get the vitamin D just by sunbathing. That's why they always tell you, go outside. We always tell our children, go outside, go outside, go outside. One of the reasons our elders used to say that is because they understand the powers of melanin. And the powers of melanin goes back to what Frances Cress Welsing, one of the videos that she had, she talked about her ISIS papers. When we talk about ISIS, right? She talked about her ISIS papers. And as soon as she created the ISIS papers, years later, they created a group a terrorist group called ISIS. And
Right.
she's always said they always make something negative to overshadow the positiveness of black folks. And even with melanin is 666, right? So that's your chemical compound of melanin is 666. And people are programmed when they see 666 to be evil and not even know that's actually the formula for your melanin is 666. So a lot of times they'll make things evil so that it deters you away from finding the truth about the greatness behind our culture and our people and our
True.
ancestors. There's a lot of things, the swastika that the Nazis use against the Jews to spread hate, right? The swastika was actually a sundial. It's actually the symbol of a sundial that our ancestors used back in the day.
Right.
They turned the ancestor sundial into the Nazi symbol. So when you look at the Nazi symbol, you think of it as something evil and don't even realize that it really generated from the sundial. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know the information out there like that. So it's a lot of things that are projected as evils, but when you look back at the original source of it, it wasn't produced as evil.
Right.
And like I say, reason why we selected Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, because she talked about in Neely Fuller Jr., who was her sidekick at the time. These two dope minds and dope scholars, Neely always said, um, if you don't understand systematical racism, everything you think you know will only confuse you.
Yep.
And this is why people don't understand sexual confusion is part of systemic racism. This is part of the system to
Yes,
leave
it
you
is.
sexually confused. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't know who your identity is, your identity is leaving you confused. This is why they always talk about, we have the plebiscite battles between Israelites and Moors and stuff like that. I have more empowerment. I don't get into the plebiscite battle. I just show you guys exactly of your information, your ancestors, and the powers that came before slaves, Moors, and there's deep history behind it. So I
Yeah.
give you the symbol, I give you the information, and you take it and you run out there and go do your due diligence and do research because the dominant society is not going to teach you this. And I'm tired of people that's out here being mad at DeSantis about what he's doing. We have to get off of these people plantation. They're not going to be in our best interest in any form or matter. They never have. We have been ran from prison to school pipeline. It's a school to prison pipeline. And our children are the ones that's being sold at these auction blocks, quote unquote auction blocks, which is the courtrooms, and they're getting sold off into the pipeline system. So we're selling our children out. And this is one of the reasons why I had put these two phenomenal uh, individuals, the children that we had that were doing phenomenal work, because if we don't part away from that, then a lot of our children that are very creative and very knowledgeable will fall trapped in the system. And once they get trapped in the system, they aren't going to come out. They will come out, but the chances of them will be very slim to none.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to give them that type of gloom light. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to leave them in that dark valley. So it's very important for us to protect our children. We got to start gaining things back in our community that we once had. A lot of the homes are recessed, right? We have a lot of homes we lost, especially through the Obama policy during his time. There's a lot of we lost a lot of businesses over the time. We lost a lot of the home structure, a lot of single homes now. We lost a lot of our identity and a lot of our power over the years because of white acceptance and wanting to be in part of white society, thinking that we're in their society for survival when we're truly not. We're being used in their society as being they're being the parasites and we're the host, and they jump into our body and our mind and use and control and generate wealth off of our abilities. This goes all the way back to the slavery days in the plant and the patent office. And that's what it boiled down to. A lot of all these inventions that we see that dominant society has produced was really produced off the blueprints of what our ancestors had created, but were shut out of the generational wealth. And basically, it was just a grab, it was just a stolen grab that they end up getting from our peoples. And we have to understand what's going on. We have to understand that our true fight was never integration, it was aggregation, which is give me the same resources you have, and I guarantee you that the Black society will be dominant. They know that. We pretty much don't know that. They know that. That's why they have the system in here to dominate any and anybody that is non-black, I mean non-white.
System of
So
oppression. Hmm.
yeah, so we have to understand that, and we have to, get out of this little threshold of a hole that we're under. And the way we get out of it is through knowledge and to start doing group economics and also applying back the code of conduct. If we're not doing those, we will never be effective enough to pull away from a system that is only there to benefit off the backs of us. And once we understand that, we'll get to the quote unquote promised land that we've always been so hopeful to find and achieve.
Mm. Well said. Well said. That's it.
So we had a great show tonight. Man, it was very powerful. I know the Super Bowl kind of knocked off a lot of people that were looking forward to us at 8 o'clock. We
Yeah.
understand it's going to be nights that certain things might occur on a Sunday. We have to push back. Like, follow, subscribe. Make sure that you guys are following the platform and tell a friend to tell a friend. Promote it. It's great information. People will love this information, and we love your constant support.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have a phenomenal. Every week we have a phenomenal show. So you guys tune in next week for another phenomenal show. And we just thank everybody for all the love and support. And it's only going to get bigger and better because, like I said, we didn't even start to scratch the surface of getting some of these celebrities on here because what we wanted to do was build a concrete foundation with you guys seeing who we are as people first before we start bringing the celebrities because we want you to know that we're powerful without the celebrities, but with the celebrities that's coming, you're going to see how much more powerful this platform is going to be. So lay around for it, anticipate it because it's coming. And, I love my brothers on here. They're phenomenal, they're powerful, and they bring great things to the platform. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys follow them and, everything that they do, support them and support us on what we do. And I'll turn it over to you guys, and you guys can have your final say before we get up out of here.
Man, you pretty much said it, man. I'm gonna just, put it out there. Hey, support, like, subscribe, and share. Like Aunt said, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get this out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's blow it up because we have very different content from a lot of these cats that you see out here. Nobody else is really talking about the stuff that we're talking about in the way that we're talking about it on the levels that we're talking about these things. We try to take, some of these things that are current topics, celebrity gossip, even sometimes, but we'll take it outside of the celebrity gossip realm and we'll analyze it, to talk about, the type of behaviors that inform this type of thing. You know what I mean? There's never anything really shallow on this show. We want to talk about, some of the causes of why, we're so off code and some of the solutions to bring us back to where we need to be so that we can be effective and we can move forward as a people. That's what this platform is about, and that's why it's important. So yes, we appreciate each and every one of you. Much love to everybody. My brothers on here are razor sharp, you know what I mean? And every week, like Ant said, we're gonna have something powerful for you. And you know, we just appreciate the support and the love. So, hey, say what you got to say, man. Come on, come on. I encourage people to come on air, send us emails. You got something that you want to share, put it in the comments. Let's get it cracking. Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Most definitely. I can promise, I can give you my word that at some point in time, one of us or all three of us are going to have a topic, are going to have a perspective that you're not going to like. And that's okay. Going back to what we said earlier, it's not about being light. Being light is the least important thing. It's the most meaningless thing out there. There's 101, there's 1,001 things that matter more than being light. But the important thing is that where it's coming from is the right place. It's a good place. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we're looking to go ahead and raise the level of the room. So even if you don't agree with it, that's fine. That's cool. You don't have to like everything we're saying, but ultimately, the purpose is to grow us as a collective, as a unit. If we present you 10 different things, and only one of those things you dislike, that's still a win. 90% is still a win. So don't get caught up in the forest for the trees, because we're not looking to be politically correct. We're not looking to shake hands and kiss babies. We're looking to give medicine. Medicine don't always taste good coming down, but the byproducts are always worth it. So stick with us. Be patient as we work through this, as we grow and we build. And we're looking forward to having you along for the ride. We'll catch you guys next week, same time. Maybe not same time, probably a little earlier, 8 o'clock, barring any other incidents that pop up. But you know where to find us. You know where we'll be. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like. Make sure you hit that notify button when you see that there's a show coming up. Hit the notify me so you get the little bell icon that pops me notifications so you don't miss out. Or if you do miss out, you know there's something waiting for you when you get back to us. Much love.
Peace, much love. See y'all next week. We out.
All right.
For sure.
On the album, we do things like songs that are a little, what we call sexy. You can see from the title, it's more of a love album.